Shalom. Give me a second. Well, I was trying to make the camera light a little lighter so you can see me. But all praises to Enoki said. The Heavenly Father, who is loving kindness, coming to you once again, been in the authority, been in the name, been in the truth of Yahweh. I pledge allegiance to the Almighty Father, the God of truth, to tell the truth according to his words. See, the problem that it may be a problem, it is a problem, but it may not be a problem to you, depending on your point of view. Most High came to save the elect. There's many Negroes, because he only came to save Israel. But there's many Negroes, African Americans, colored, etc., who think they don't know they're Israelites and can care less until they have to care. By then, it's too late. Matter of fact, it's too late now if you don't care. Because the eagle, he said, where the Caucas is, there will be the symbol of the eagle. I'm not gonna lie. So only thing I can talk about is a church that I've been to. So one time I saw that the Living Gospel Church, I ain't been in a long time. I'm not a member of that church. Well, I'm not slandering them. Like I told you, I can't talk about another church because that's the only church I used to go to. But you can say wherever the Caucas is, there you'll find the image or the symbol of the eagle. And I saw them had a United States flag in their church. Could that be a member of the Caucus? Showing the sign of the eagle? See, a lot of times, people like to live in a fantasy world. And they want to attribute this character named Jesus that in the image of the Caucus. And then they want to come and gather together in a building. It's not their fault. They've been led astray. Dumb sheep. I'm not putting you down. I used to be there. I'm trying to lift you up and bring you out alive. Come out of the Caucus, my people. And do not be a partaker of her sins. So you don't have to take part of her plagues of judgment. See, you've been taught to have the old gatekeepers of the secret societies. That's who your church members are. At least one of them. And the rest is under that one. But see, importance, they all wicked. They all work for the devil. I'm listening to what the scriptures say. And they say if you belong to the Caucus church, you also wicked. because the message is going out to you, but you turn off my channel, or you unfriend me on Facebook, or if I send you a message, you say he cussed too much. But they lie to you every day. They cussing you out every day, and you accept it, smiling. And then hit the music, nigga. Man, and he gets to dancing, and that, man. And then you turn your preacher into a celebrity. How you know? I did it too. That's what you taught to do. So I'm not saying that nothing I ain't been. But Most High woke me up, and not only did I come out of it, you ran me out. Because a lot of times they put the mic on the stage, but they ain't teaching you nothing to have really ask a question. So they say they show like they teaching the truth because they should put the mics out, but they ain't taught you nothing. All you gonna do is reciprocate what they told you. That's a lie. But I had something different in me, and they knew it. You know, all they lying to me. A lot of my questions turned to statements, and they're like, "Cut the mic, cut the mic, cut the mic." Next thing you know what happened. And then they bring you in there. They know that when people gonna hook up, they want you to hook up. They want you to have a family. They know you ain't gonna make it. Majority. That's why they have them on rotation. The new men come in that they recruit, and then they have the ladies there, or the whores there, because you are a hoe. You know that, right? I'm not saying you a hoe on purpose, but if they rotating you in and out of marriages, divorcing you and getting another, that's a hoe. They pimping you. They know better too. You just don't know no better. You are a hoe. God said you're supposed to have one husband. And they give you the freedom to divorce and to, I'll give you a little counseling. Come on in my office. See that brother? That's a good brother right there. Hey, get that nigga. Bring him on in there. We gonna counsel you. He don't know no better either because he ain't been taught nothing either. And then they have the elders on the stage. You know, the ones that's a demigod put up there on the stage that everybody worshiping. Then they show him and his wife. Boy, that's an example. Been together all these years. Devils. Raising you up to be a devil. And then they say, like the scripture says, they will not let you in, or they won't go into the truth because they know better. They already know, but they already sold their soul for a kickback. And they won't let you in either to the truth. And if you come to try to find the truth, then they're going to kick you out and gang stalk you. That's what's going on there. They're going to try to force you to be a devil. And the script and the seal portion say, Satan can't force you to do nothing against your will. So this is your experience at church. You come to church. They say, by the time we finish with you, you're going to be an upstanding church citizen, slave. You go in and dress like me, right? Because they had a problem with me all the time because somehow when I got in the suits, I would end up coming back looking stuff like this because I didn't wearing suits. Then we say the people that's conform, they can conform. You end up looking like the preacher, although you don't preach, wearing suits all the time and stuff like that. They said, "Boy, we didn't clean him up. Look at him now. He came in looking like that. Now look how he look, like a politician, carrying a suitcase, a briefcase. Boy, they cleaned you up all right on the outside. but you're still full of dead man's bones. That's how they taught you. So your church experience is this. You come in and then finally, then you start dancing. Because you never danced before this. You see everybody else dancing in the fake Holy Ghost, as the sealed portion says. Then you get comfortable. Then you hear the arguing, and all of a sudden one day you get up and start dancing. Ooh, I feel the spirit. And they're like, yeah. Yeah. And then they teach you the spirit of giving. Now they got you. But the sealed portion says, don't give them no more your money. You help them to build more wicked institutions. Stop giving them because they don't believe in the same God that Yahweh believes in, the Father. The true God. And let something worse come upon you. Wherever the Caucas is, you'll see the symbol of the eagle. See, one thing is hard for you to accept is this. You like religion, because that's fun. You can go get your fix of religiosity, and you can go back and do what you do in your real life. When Shabbat should be your life. That's the law of the Israelites. That's the law of the gospel. It's not something you put on and off, you live it. That's who you are. That's who I am. And then he said, the watchers watch. That's the ministry. But where are they watching at? In the buildings? Damn. You know I said damn though. The big fat booty girl, the new girl that came. Wherever the Caucas is, or the Caucas is, there should an eagle gather, bearing the sign of the eagle. See, that's what people can't get. That's why you got their members fighting against the Israelites, the true Israelites, not some of the ones playing games. Because it's messing up their gimmick. Then they say, "Well, I heard some man on. I was thinking I was watching GMS. This black man with some other. See, I'm not these Israelites preaching line upon line precept. That's not Bible study. What do you think Bible study is? It should be line upon line, precept upon precept according to the scriptures. That's what scriptures say. So what gospel are you teaching then? Or what gospel are you learning? Oh, I know, of the Caucas. Man, if you wake up, you're gonna be ashamed of yourself. Talking about he's following Jesus in terms, but Jesus ain't found by following the precepts. It's not about you took it away from Jesus. Now it's about you. What you think waking up is all about? It's about his people to wake up to know who they are, to know they really just like Yahweh in every facet, including skin color. That's something they don't want you to know. And nationality. Think about somebody's body. You see people walking down the street with a black head, a yellow arm, a white arm, and a whatever colors they got there. Whatever color people are, and tell me that's a body. No, that's a monster. That's a Frankenstein. The body looks alike. It looks just like the head. It's not different nationalities. That means that's a monster. This is when you wake up to think about these things. This is common sense. But religion, in the terms of Rick James, is a hell of a drug. It takes you way out of your mind. It's out of control, and you are too. See, true religion makes you put on the mind of the Messiah, knowledge and truth. That's what Father said, I seek it such to worship me in the spirit and in truth, not a fantasy. See, the truth of the matter is, Yahweh said he suffered in every aspect, tempted in every aspect, and he was oppressed too. The whole word is about real life. It's not a fantasy. He was talking about the same Caucas that I'm talking about today. He was talking about the same colonizers that he said, I'm more than a conqueror. People think, man, that was profound what he said right there. Your preacher is talking. I'm trying to talk in a way that don't want to offend you. You know, because I don't need to. I'm not trying to offend you. So I'm gonna try to keep it clean as you think. So you think your preacher said 1 2 blue 1 2 2 fish. Scripture 3 John 3:16. Purple hat, green sock. Man, that's profound. Amen. Oh man. I need that to Michael Jordan and say right here. You need help. I'm trying to help you. No, people. The Most High spoke words and parables about real life. Because in that time, the Romans would kill you. Just like they do now, but that's why he brought the atonement. And then he got it with all power. Now I can speak with all power, the truth. And I'm sovereign, I'm reigning. Also consider this. You probably considered this before. He said, I'm going to put a full end of all nations except for Jacob. That's going to happen too. But it's the full end of all nations already happened right now while the truth came out. And they're not saying who they saying that they're not who they said they were. Because they said their word was talking about me. Sion. They've been destroyed by the truth. Only nation still standing is Sion. He said, I'm going to put a full end of all nation lies. Yeah, I'm going to chastise you, Israel, for breaking my commandments and for the lies you've been telling. But he said, I pay for my sins. Lamentation 4:21 through 22 CV. Now it's time for me to get paid. I ain't never been a Freemason, never joined up with him, never accepted nothing from him. I just told you I was mine by right. Therefore, they can't try to come at me like Dr. Martin Luther King because I ain't him and he ain't me. Somebody said, you sure ain't Dr. Martin Luther King? And I ain't apologize for not being him. I ain't never been a Freemason. I was sent straight from heaven. Somebody got offended when I said that. No, I ain't never went out marching down the street talking about we should overcome. when I woke up, like I told you, Most High had me saying, freedom. And I ain't never been a part of the Caucas. I don't even participate in their voting. They even told you don't do that. I'm going to read some more information to you. Some of y'all think they ain't going to pay me attention to nothing I'm saying. Well, the Caucus going to feast on you. Some of you think something wrong with me. No. You got to wake up and realize something's wrong with you. I'm going to read some information to you. Of course, you know the devil lies a lot, right? But I'm still reading some information to you, but you know I should measure that by what God said. The right side, what God said. So I'm going to read some information about the Caucus. Just pull up some information on the internet. Because everybody in the voting frame of mind, who they going to vote for. And I ain't even say allegedly anymore. These people you're voting for is just blue screen and CGI. Most of them dead already. Because they got cleaned up in the swamp. But even if they are alive, you still voting for the Caucus, and that's a dead body. I'm going to read it to you. Like I said, I wrote none of these articles. I'm sharing it with you. But measure everything that I read that's not from the Word of God, measure with the word against the Word of God, and compare it. That's the standard, the Word of God, rightly divided. Of this information just get you in the mindset of what's going on. A brief guide to understanding the countries of the South Caucasus, bordered by great powers, but with their own distinct cultures: Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. Not Georgia, what you think, but another Georgia. And like in Russia. Georgia lies the crossroads of Asia and Europe. In his book, The Caucasus, an introduction, Thomas D. Wall explains this fascinating region by Thomas D. Wall, published February 11, 2019. You have a video with it. Like I told you, you just can't pick up a book or read something it's just true. You got to measure it. You got to do some studying to show yourself approved. See, most people just pick up a book and don't realize Esau lied. And they think that's the truth. It's some truth in there, though. But the truth is, they're going to always print it back to them, to the Caucus. And I tell the truth that everything they get is from the Israelites. I'm not talking about Israelis, but Israelites as in Negroes. Not the Negroes are not Israelites is the true term. Negro is something they created, African American, all these other things. That's part of their scheme to get you away from who I am. And they can't get me away from who I am. Get you away from who you are. Because I'm an American Israelite from the house of Joseph and the tribe of Ephraim. Church of the Firstborn. What made you want to study and write about this part of the world? It goes on to say, I've been going to the region for more than 30 years. When I was a student and a journalist in Moscow, I used to enjoy traveling south where they still spoke Russian. But I wasn't in Russia. The people were friendly and food was certainly better. There's a lot to cover. It was turbulent time with ongoing conflicts and state breakdown. Eventually, I became less of Russia expert and more of a Caucasus expert, writing a book about the Karabakh conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Later, I realized there was a gap in the market to write a short, readable introduction to the Caucasus as a whole. My pitch was that the book should be brought by someone traveling to the region when they got off the plane. That person would know that the basics, the first edition, came out in 2010. So this is the updated version. I actually met someone in the Istanbul airport reading it. So the imaginary reader came to life. Where is the Caucasus? Is it considered Europe or Asia? I call the Caucasus the islands in between. Geographically, the countries lie between Europe, Asia, Russia, and the Middle East. Culturally, they're on the border where Islam meets Christianity, where democracy meets authoritarianism. Is the South Caucasus in Europe? It's a bit of an open question. The conventional practice is to call it Europe. It's quite a secularized Europeanized place. That means that Turkey to the west is in Asia, and Azerbaijan to the east is in Europe. It is confusing, interesting region, which is a borderland in more ways than just geography. What is the region geography like, and how has it influenced its development? It is defined by two huge mountain ranges, the greater and the lesser. Caucasus. The book is about the southern side of the mountains, the greater Caucasus, which is the highest mountain range in Europe. There is an enormous variety of climates and landscapes, from desert to subtropical fertile on the Black Sea coast of Georgia to temperate wine countries like temperate wine country. I call it 3 and 3 and 3. I call it 3 and 3 and 3. Is that 666? The mark of the man, the mark of the beast. It don't say that, but the scriptures does. There are three big neighbors, which are all from former imperial powers: Persia to the south, the Ottoman Empire, and Russia. There are three nation states: Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. And there are three disputed breakaway territories: Norgany, Karabakh between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and if I mispronounce it, people, just forgive me. And Abkhazia and South Ossetia, which split from Georgia de facto into 1992 and 93, and were recognized as independent by Russia in 2008. What are some of the differences between the countries that make up the Caucasus? It is incredibly diverse. Ethnically and linguistically, the three main nations have different alphabets, and languages belong to different groups. This is the product of both history and regions mountainous geography. Historically, it has been regarded as the land of conflict. Then they say that's what the Middle East is all about. The people, how is that can be Israel over there and they're always in conflict? At war. And by the time when the children of Israel come on, it's supposed to be peace. And they're not Israelites. They're Israelis. They're the troublemakers. That dates back more than 30 years pits the two nations against one another, and almost perpetual hostility holds back the forward development of the region. There are two ancient Christian nations, Armenia and Georgia, back in the early 4th century. The kingdoms of Armenia and Georgia were the first two nations to convert to Christianity. And by the way, Israel, ain't none of this got nothing to do with you. They got nothing to do with me. This is their own conflict. They the Caucasus. And there are people that have been Christians ever since. We ain't stop. We gonna get to the white folks, because all these white folks anyway, they just look different. Using terms. White means righteousness, and they don't need righteousness. We talking about skin complexion. Pale face. Some are less pale than others, but they all the same people. And they not Israelites. The sealed portion, chapter 64, verse 65, verse 2. And the true saints of God, the one they call Negroes, African American, color, and all these different things, Indians, that's really Israelites, who were his elect, were persecuted and slain by the hands of the Romans, Esau and Japheth, to this very day, the book of Jasher, chapter 90, 1 through 11. And by the consent of those leaders of the Christian faith, all these other people, the Caucasus. Psalms 93. Not 83, it's lucky. Who had made alliances with the Romans and other governments of the earth. All the Caucasus. If you don't believe it, I'll just put it this way for your consideration. Because I'm reading it to you. Yeah, keep in mind, I didn't write none of this. I'm just giving you information. But yet, you still got to study for yourself. But I tell you, the measure against God, what God said. I'm going to tell you what God said. And there are two ancient Christian nations, Armenia and Georgia. Back in the early 4th century, the kingdom of Armenia and Georgia, and when you're talking about Israelites here, Christian means Caucus member. There are two ancient Christian nations, Armenia and Georgia. Back in the early 4th century, the kingdom of Armenia and Georgia were the first two nations to convert to Christianity. And their people have been Christian ever since. Armenia and Georgia have an uneasy friendship. They mostly get along, but can be competitive. Azerbaijan is the largest of the three countries and also very wealthy, thanks to oil and gas. I wonder where they got that from. It has a fascinating history. Azerbaijanis are ethnically Turkic, but also predominantly Shia Muslim, Shia-Muslim, S-H-I-A Muslim. And they were Ruffified by the Soviet Union. So they have a mix of Turkish, Iranian, Russian cultural legacy. Through the bigger historical sweep, all three have managed to trade, intermarry, largely get along with each other. See, they none of the Israelites. See, I'm not attacking nobody. I'm just reading information and comparing it with God, what the Messiah said in his life, what he learned. He wasn't talking about religion. You made into religion. He was talking about real life. But they made a religion. You think this is going to church on Sunday. No, he was talking about real life. He was going through some stuff in the people of Israel, like he was doing today. That's why he sent me to end the doctrine of discovery in the Act of 1666, Satzkiviat. It's finished. What do they have in common? It makes sense to think that these three small countries as one region. They have a shared common history. For some 200 years, they're part of the Russian Empire and then the Soviet Union. They share cultural traditions. There are similarities in the way food is served and guests are treated. More importantly, they also have a shared regional economy, although more is potential than in reality. The region's biggest international asset is its status as a transport hub. What is the biggest mistake to make when you're thinking about a Caucasus? One mistake people make, which became even clearer to me as I updated the book, is to think that too much of the terms of Russia, and they call the South Caucasus Russia's backyard. People who don't know much about it try to see it through the prism of Russia and even Putin. But that's an outdated model. These countries have been independent for 25 years. They're not just neighbors of Russia. China is there. The EU is there. Turkey is there. For example, in the spring of 2018, there was a peaceful revolution in Armenia. Most of the coverage was focused on Russia. But Russia did nothing. The idea that, remember, I ain't right now this, I'm sharing information to you, which you got to study for yourself. But I always say, because I always speak from the Father's perspective, which is the truth. The idea that this is Russia's backyard when Armenia doesn't even share a border with Russia. This is a close economic and security partnership, was shown to be outmoded. People need to hit refresh on that concept. Remember, this was an article in 2019. And what happened in 2019? Oh, that's when the sealed portion came to light. The book remembers. And in 2020, that's when the Roman Catholic Pope removed all his crowns. In 2006, the one before him, like Count Dracula, removed his crown. In 2020, they officially announced it. What about the Caucasus might most surprise people? What about the Caucasus might most surprise people? This is a region with many curious details. I have some small capsules of those in the book. For example, Georgia is the oldest wine-making country in the world. There are fermented grape pipes that prove they were making wine several thousand years before anyone else. For Georgians, wine drinking is more than just a matter of taste. German anthropologist Florian Mühlfried argues that it is also very political. It is the way that the Georgians assert their difference from others, particularly the vodka drinking Russians. There's also passion. You got to remember too, in the beginning, everybody on the earth was Israelites, because they came from Adam. And then Cain's side went and started colonizing. There's also a jazz scene in Azerbaijan in Georgia, which date back to the 1960s. Comparatively speaking, the region did better than Russia during Soviet times. Baku and Tbilisi had a cosmopolitan culture, a jazz culture. Finally, there's a new development, which is ecotourism. It is a stunningly beautiful region, and nowadays there's opportunities for hiking in the mountains, mountain trails, and small guest houses where tourists can stay. What is the future of the region likely to look like? Is it click that the future is unpredictable for them? But at least it will keep me employed. That's what they said. There's one major unresolved conflict over Karabakh, and the two somewhat smaller ones in Georgia. If Azerbaijan and Armenia go back to war, it can set the region back by a generation. As a whole, I feel that although the region is small, it has many assets. It's a place at international crossroads, and I'm sovereign of all that because I'm sovereign in the international jurisdiction of the sea. With a well-educated population and lots of potential. Personally, I feel optimistic. Remember, this is what they saying. Because I didn't write this order. As I can see that the region has come a very long way in the last quarter of a century since I first started going there. The second edition of Thomas D. Wall's book, The Caucasus, an introduction, is published by Oxford University Press. Here's another one. The Council of State Governments, CSG. What is the Caucus? By Morgan Thomas, Policy Associate. Caucuses are, remember, I didn't write none of this, remember. Sharing information. Caucuses are really a topic of everyday conversation. However, they play an essential role in shaping the American government. That's a lie. What we read about. The caucus is not America. He said that's them. The United States is not America. The United States is the caucus. Where the caucus dwell, there should you see the sign of the eagle. The caucus put their sign on this land and tried to steal the image and the people and everything else. The true Americans are the Israelites. You're looking at one. I'm an American Israelite. I'm the original. And I'm not part of the caucus, nor their race or nationality, nothing to do with them. And I never joined up with them under no Freemasonry ship or no secret society. Therefore, I'm not in their kingdom. I'm not in their plan. I'm in the Father's plan. And I didn't sell out. Caucuses are really a topic of everyday conversation. However, they play a central role in shaping the United States corporation. The United States used the term caucus, meaning United States corporation. They say America, but they're not Americans, nor are they America by their own confessions. See, that's what people got. That's where they got the people twisted. You think they talking about America? No, America is not them, and they're not American, nor America. The The United States Corporation used the term caucus. Use of the term caucus was first used in 18th century Boston to refer to the political club. And that's who they are, a political club. It only includes them. So when you, I'll throw it out there. When you voting for them, you voting for a club that you're not a part of. Talking about Israelites. People think they African American, colored, and black, and all these other things. African, and talking about your ancient forefathers. They ain't your forefathers. You're not even part of that club. You might go watch that movie, that sitcom, that comedy by Dave Chappelle. You at the club doing like this. You see, everything seems cool in slow motion. Over time, the term praise the Most High. Over time, the term evolved, referring to two different forms of political organization: party caucuses and legislative caucuses. And that's what I said. Mandates and legislations of this caucus has nothing to do with America. That's why I ain't got to listen to them. Neither do you if you are American Israel. Because that's a part of their club. They trying to push off club rules on real world activity in real life of the true Americans. And you ain't part of the club. Never have been. But that's a good thing. But you got people trying to fight to get in the club. Back to you, Nancy. With a tie and suit on. These forms are distinct in membership and purpose. However, both allow United States citizens, because that's who they are, not Americans, to come together around common political objectives, according to their political club that you've never been a part of, and they don't never be invited. They just make you think that. Until they give you what they call the nigga wake up call. Look, nigga, you ain't part of this club. That's why they don't like that. That's why they don't invite you to their golf club course, their clubs. That's the same club. You gotta be like a Tiger Woods, like a half a nigga or something getting that. Or a real sellout nigga like Michael Jordan. But you gotta marry they women, or you can't get in. That's part of the scam of the club, because they're gonna get rid of you eventually and get the money back to the woman. You're gonna eventually come back to them. But I ain't never bought that club. All 950 trillion of my money times 5 and good faith credit still mine. They can't touch it. How I know that? Because they told me by necessity. The Father told me already in Isaiah chapter 60, 1 through at least 15, 16. Prior to the event of nominating caucuses, presidential and vice presidential candidates were selected by caucus of a party's member in Congress. They already told you about Congress. Black people, you've been conned. You've been duped. Without the input of voters, that's you. And you around talking about trying to tell people to vote and fighting and cuss a man out, a brother out because he don't go vote. So you a disgrace for voting. The second legislative caucus provide elected representatives with an opportunity to meet others with shared policy interests and objectives, proven to be effective means by which legislators can spur action around a given policy issue. And the issue is you, nigga. To keep you out of your inheritance. Most High said, I change not. Therefore, you righteous sons of Jacob are not consumed. And matter of fact, the righteous son of Jacob, the one who hewed out the rock, meaning Shekoli, his righteous daughter. He said, "You my inheritance. That's why they can't cheat you out of your inheritance. Mine. This because the father got interest in me. I'm his real son. I'm his inheritance. So you try to cheat me out of my inheritance, you treating him out of his. But somebody got to go. It ain't me." That's what Howard said. Can't nobody take none out of my father's hands. Legislative caucuses grew significantly in the popularity since their inception in the early 1800s. What is a party caucus? Party caucuses are private meetings run by state political parties with all European people. European people for European people. To vote on potential candidates for an upcoming election. Private meetings are often held in places such as schools, community buildings, or churches. Unlike legislative caucuses, party caucuses involve the direct participation of voters, such as the term party caucus, often standing alone as just caucus, referred to online or in news media. Caucuses may be used to elect candidates in both federal and state elections. Otherwise, when you show all this political stuff there on TV, that's all the show. To make you feel like you included, but you're not. Most notably, the presidential election, they can be held at the county, district, or precinct level to measure the voter preference for a given candidate. For example, Colorado holds precinct caucuses to elect precinct committee persons and delegates to county assemblies. That's all the criminals of this caucus gathered together an assembly for themselves. And then they get you to cooperate with it. Therefore, it's your fault. It ain't your fault, but they're gonna say it's your fault because you voted for it. I'm approving the scriptures. At each caucus meeting, that's part of also come out here, my people, so you won't suffer in their sins. When you voting for them, they already told you, you liable now. They'll say, well, you approved it, although your vote didn't count. You voted for a candidate. At each caucus meeting, a candidate, they ask me, do I vote? No, I don't vote. I have not voted in years. That's even before I found this up. At each caucus meeting, a candidate aims to secure the support of registered voters. See, it's all about trying to register you so they can have it on record as being voting. Everything they try to register everything for that same purpose. And I object to it all because even online, you try to go to Amazon and order some stuff, and they got it. Well, you can't even make a selection. It's already automatically registered. That's why not in my case. I object. I'm always an American Israelite, sovereign. And delegates to the county assemblies. At each caucus meeting, a candidate aims to secure the support of registered voters through speeches and discussions, sometimes causing caucus members to last for hours, caucus meetings to last for hours. Meetings accumulate in a vote where participants show their support for a given candidate by either raising their hand or by breaking into groups that correspond with candidates of their choice. And then sometimes you watch the news, some caucus throw them things, especially over in Asia, because They walk around as the most peaceful people, but until they go to a caucus meeting, they start knocking. Okay, I ain't gonna say. They start knocking people out. Am I lying? Have you seen it? I ain't even seen Europeans fight like that in caucus meetings, but over in Asia lands, they go to caucus meeting, they start punching each other. These probably most people on earth. And it ain't like I was looking at those caucus meetings. It's just I just turned on the news one time, a couple of times. They was throwing them. You seen it. Unlike voting in an election, these methods allow voters to express their preference for a candidate physically. That's why they got physical. They didn't like what they were seeing. Presidential. No, Esau is more. Well, they still Esau, but Esau is more deceptive in everything he do. He act like he real peaceful, like he got himself under control until you have to find out the hard way, like getting your head taken off out the bushes or something. At you find you think you're a Christian. Next thing, your chain around your neck getting pulled out the woods until your head come off. Presidential caucuses and the National Convention. That sounds like national world citizenship to me. The lie. That's their covenant that they must. That's what the doc. Let me read that. Since I'm about to read this. That's why they're trying to get you registered. Although it's unlawful and illegal to have registration on this land. Because the American Israelites don't need that. They're trying to have everything in their favor by deception. Little book 3 and 15 from the Book of Remembrance of Melchizedek, including the little book of John the Revelator. Little book, chapter 3, verse 15. But the lie has been that nations and leaders of nations can better provide and safeguard your children and labor with you to bring you the happiness of a rich life with the satisfaction of possessions. Well, the truth is, they try to get you to register and vote and all these things so they can try to have a satisfying life with your possessions. They say, after all, you voted for. But the lie, why do I need that when I'm already in the best covenant? The Father's plan, the new covenant. That's why I objected. I'm not a part of that. That's why they can't touch none of his mind. And everything they did, even right now, they don't have the right to do one thing they do, anything they do. That's not right concerning me because I'm not a part of their club. Never pretended to be. I just said I want what's mine by right. That came from the Father. Even though the Father told me to order them by right and give me everything that's mine that they told me is mine by necessity, including what I want, according to scriptures. Based on his atonement. Let's go to verse 12 on down. Little book 3 and 12. My first declaration of truth is that the covenant between righteous mankind and Ergadasha of creation has once again come into effect upon the earth. That's the new covenant. That's a declaration of truth. And this declaration will proceed being announced by the living spirit of the East. Now we know what he's talking about. I'm glad the Most High allowed me to do this. Remember I said, can anything good thing come out of South Central? Preparing the way for the kings of the East side. See, they got you thinking they part of the Caucas. They're going to come from Asians, these same people I'm not part of their party. No. The angel of the East came from the East side. Can anything good come out of South Central, Nazareth? I'm gonna leave that for you, just make you wet your whistle. I'm gonna bring the rest out of the scriptures when I bring the other part. I was gonna bring that to first, but the Most High said do this first. But I'm glad I read this, though. So now you know what he's talking about. And this declaration will proceed, being announced by the living spirit of the east side. Because I was raised on the east side of Los Angeles. What they got to do anything? Well, I'm just talking about gates with the name of Israel on them. And the sound of it will be directed towards the earth. Note it. You'll see that where these declarations go is the same as they are listed in the book of Revelation. See, study guide of appendix. And this truth will uncover the lie that suppressed and denied the first foundation of Shabbat. That's true religion for Israel. That's a way of life. It's not religion. And the element used in the wedding, within the sanctity of marriage. And who we married to? Messiah. One big family. There's a voice to the Ergadashai telling them. Who is the Ergadashai? Melchizedek and Zaquil by priesthood called Sion. To identify this man and wife as ones they are tasked with providing for and safeguarding and laboring with to bring the fullness of the gift of life to themselves and their children. See? That's why I was talking about protecting my children. This message for all Sion, though, but my responsibility is for my children. They grown, but they still my seed. I just tell them to honor me. That's what Scripture says. So the days may be long upon the land which Yahweh God has given them. But the lie has been that nations and leaders of nations can better provide for and safeguard your children and labor with you to bring you the happiness of a rich life with the satisfaction of possessions that the Father has already provided for in his plan for me. And their covenant will be international or world citizenship of the Caucas. Don't say that, but I'm reading it to you. Once again, what is a party caucus? Party caucuses are private meetings run by state political parties to vote on potential candidates for upcoming election. Private meetings are often held in places such as schools, community buildings, or churches. Unlike see, they tell you all in part of it. See, the church ain't gonna say nothing about Israel's point of view from the Father's plan, but they'll tell you about political voting. Right? Where the caucus gather, there will the embers of the symbol of the eagle be. Presidential caucuses and the national convention. National and world citizenship. That's their covenant. In presidential elections, caucuses do not directly elect a candidate, but rather determine the number of state delegates pledged to vote. See, your point says you pledge your allegiance to Satan. And that's why when I talked to Sarah online on on recorded line 2017, I asked him, I said, am I selling my soul to get what's mine by right, my retirement and everything? But now I know that includes my whole estate. That's why I gave myself a raise. It's my money. They said, no. I said, do I got to sell my soul yet? Nope. Do I got a pledge of allegiance to get it? Nope. We obligated to give it to you. That's on recorded line. Therefore, I never joined, although I never couldn't join in the first place, but I never pretended to join them, and I never asked to. That's why I asked them questions. They said, no, we obligated to give it to you. That means out of the Father's plan for me, out of my estate, my private money, out of my private account. Got nothing to do with them. That's why, so whether they go bankrupt or not, they still gotta give me mine because they don't want to go bankrupt. They want bankrupt, not me. Presidential caucuses and a national convention. In the presidential election, caucuses do not directly elect the candidate, but rather determine the number of state delegates pledged to vote for a given candidate at the party national convention, national world citizenship for their party. They done duped Negroes and thinking they're a part of it. That's why they got a dead black woman. There was already faced the judgment at Guantanamo Bay already. Talking about that, yes, your black president to get you back under them. And you got, I lost some respect from the people. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. People I thought was smart. Talking about they voting for Kamala Harris. And mean it too. You need to wake up. I ain't telling you to vote for none of them, but I'm just saying you voting because they say she's a black candidate. She a black candidate to try to keep you black in the dark. Everything is fun in slow motion. Delegates are party members. Click on delegate. Delegates are individuals chosen to represent their state party national nominating convention. They're either selected in primary or caucus contests or included because of their position as an elected representative or member of the party leadership. The Democratic and Republican Party and the Steel Portion say both of them the same thing. Different sides of the same coin. The Democratic and Republican parties differ in how they name and allocate delegates. And that's why in 2017, when I answered to the Act of 1666 and I let them on, I sent everybody one. Democrats and Republicans, from the Roman Catholic Pope on down, Donald Trump and everybody else. They can't, none of them say they ain't get it. I told them cease and desist. The emperor's in town. I'm back. They gave me a notice back saying, we recognize you as Negus. Some people think I'm boasting. I'm not lying one bit. Then I updated in my good name, Anthony Matthews Poole Sr., also known as Negus Joseph, to keep many souls alive. The Democratic and Republican parties differ in how they name and allocate delegates. Democratic delegates are either pledged or unpledged, while Republican delegates are bound and unbound. A presidential candidate must reach a minimum number of delegates before he or she win a party nomination. This number varies election to election by political party. Only thing is that's their president. It ain't mine. Because I'm not part of their club or their party. Neither one of them. And if you got ears to hear and eyes to see, you probably not either. Delegates are party members who pledge to the president to present their state's selected candidates and presidential nominee at the national convention. And that's why that Roman Catholic Pope Pride attorney are trying to get you talking about you an American national. See, they told the truth about who the true people is, but they trying to pull you back in talking about you an American national. To get you better under national world citizenship. See, they liars. That's all the Most High sent me to expose them. And then they put the foot in their mouth and they say it's all based on God's word. They use God's scripture, therefore it's back in my territory. That's why I have the right to amend it. According to the truth. That's why I did. Most High said I'm more intelligent than them all. Therefore, I got power over all of them in the international jurisdiction of the sea. And the sea and the wealth been reverted back to me. Delegates are party members. As a matter of fact, her claim to fame is she's the Roman Catholic Pope Pride attorney. Therefore, it came from the desk of the Vatican. That's why I done the verse and the Act of 1660, all that's done away with. And I ended it in 2017. Yeah, that's right. I did it. The Most High, I'm his word. So I'm only boasting in him. Tell me who else did it. They know it was me because I'm on the record for the one doing it. So people play all they like games all they want. I'm the one that got sent from the Most High. It's finished. Delegates are party members who pledge to represent their state's selected candidates and presidential nominee at the national convention. They're selected based on their position within a party or by contest within a caucus or a primary. State caucuses are traditionally held from January to June of each election year. During this time, candidates travel around the country to caucus meetings. That's why the Most High is like, rejoice you heavens, talking about me. No, Zion. But the devil knows that he coming down the U and the C with great wrath because people still listen to the caucuses, thinking you a part of they caucus. He can't touch me, I'm in heaven. They already gave acknowledgement. But you that think you part of the caucus, but you really not, the vultures is gonna have a meal through liquidation. And you on the menu. Delegates are party members. Either come and eat at the Most High's great feast. You birds and fowls and vultures and all you creatures. He said his judgment started at the house of Yahweh. But the great feast gonna start at their house. So there's gonna be a great feast in Basra and everything in it. The dead body. State caucuses are traditionally held from January to June of each election year. During this time, candidates travel around the country, the caucus meetings, in order to secure enough delegates to qualify for their party national convention. National conventions: 1, primary and caucuses; 2, national conventions; 3, general elections; 4, electoral college. Step 2, national conventions. Each party holds a national convention to select a final presidential nominee. State delegates from the primaries and caucuses elect to the president to present the people will now endorse their favorite candidates, and the final presidential nominee for each party will be officially announced at the end of the conventions. The presidential candidate also chooses a running mate, vice president, presidential candidate. The presidential candidates campaign throughout the country to win the support of the general population. I mean, this is not voting for our country. It's voting for theirs. On our land, my land. This is the true president of this land. See the Book of Mormon, chapter 3 and 82. Therefore, the priesthood presidency of the Son of God belongs rightfully to the literal descendants of the chosen seed, to whom the covenant promises have been and will be made. And the same order has always existed, will exist until the end of Esau's world right now. Therefore, Adam, that's called Adumi, the other world. Therefore, Adam, the president or high priesthood of his day, spread the gospel with Seth and came to confer priesthood on Enos and Seth, son of Seth, when he is 134 years old. All the way down to the day. The same priesthood order. That's why I said this. Why would they be saying this if they know it's going to happen if their caucus is running something? Article of Faith 1 in Section 10. Description. We believe in the literal gathering of Israel and in the restoration of the 10 tribes, that Zion, the New Jerusalem, will be built upon the American continent. What about that place over there? Oh, that already got destroyed in 70 AD by Titus Eupacis and the Romans. Who over there right now? Oh, that's imposters. But we believe in the literal gathering of Israel and the restoration of the 10 tribes. The Zion and New Jerusalem will be built upon the American content. He said, we believe in the literal gathering of the literal presence of this land. It's called the governor. Isaiah 9, 6 through 7. To govern the Chazak priest. They ain't got to do with me, and I ain't got to do with them. They just got to follow my orders. Isaiah 9, 6 through 7. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulder. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end. Upon the throne of David, upon his kingdom to order it, to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of Yahweh of hosts has done this. See, the Edomites, what they don't want to understand is, when I'm talking about the things of God that gives me the authority, which is the scriptures, which is the righteousness, they always making it want to seem like I'm talking about their system. No, I supersede your system. You're the subordinate. Governors are now. Century 1300, governor, personal keeper, protector, guide, late 14th century, one who governs, a ruler. Prince, ruler, administrator, helmsman, director, ruler, governor. Steerman, pilot, see govern, meaning subordinate ruler, that's you. And you're not ruling. Director, ruler, governor, originally steerman, meaning one charge or direction or control of an institution. I control you. sense of self-acting regulator. Govern is a verb. To rule with authority that I now possess. Luke 10 and 19. Amplified. By the way, I want to go get me some pizza and stuff, man. You need to send my money and stuff like this so I can go get my automobile back and go travel around and go get my pizza and whatever else I want to get. Luke 10 and 19, Amplified. Listen carefully. I give you authority that you now possess. Tread on serpents and scorpions. And the Caucas. And the ability to exercise authority over all the power of the enemy, Satan. Nothing will in any way harm me. You. Come on, Sion. President is now, late 14th century, appointed governor of a province, chosen leader of a body of persons. President, governor, to act as head or chief, and I ain't acting. I'm appointed, anointed. Preside in Middle English of heads of religious houses, hospitals, almshouses, colleges, universities. I rule all of in righteousness. First use for a chief executive officer of a republic in the U.S. Constitution, 1887, for the earlier American use, for officer in charge of the Continental Congress. I'm in charge of them too. Only thing, I'm not wicked. I'm ruling by the rod of iron. He said he should rule them with a rod of iron. The word of God. The truth. And this is the end for them. Because Sion, this is the new day in Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. Stand, for our day, my day has risen. And to the ones, this is Isaiah, Revelation 2, 26 to 28. And to the one who overcomes and continues in my work until the end, I will give authority over the nations. And he'll rule them with an iron scepter and shatter them like pottery, just as I receive authority from my Father. And I'll give him the morning star. President is now. Appointed governor of a province, chosen leader of a body of persons. President, governor, head of state, head or chief. I'm a head of all of them. The first use of chief executive officer of a republic is in the U.S. Constitution, 1887. Earlier American use for an officer in charge of the Continental Congress, 1774. Earlier an individual in colonies, Virginia, 1608. It since derived from that of chosen head of a meeting of a group of persons, which is from Middle English immediately after the revolution of the chief magistrates of certain states, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Delaware, South Carolina, took the title, which eventually reverted to a governor. It has been used as chief officer of banks. That's me. Because I own treasury. Like I said, bring my money today. I want some pizza and a different thing I want to eat today. Preside is a verb. Be set over others. Have place of authority, direct, and control. Preside over, govern. Stand guard, superintend, literally, sit in front of. Usually denoting, well, this ain't that, this is permanent. And don't think I'm a part of your corporation or your government. I'm ruling from heaven. Isaiah 9, 6 through 7. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulder. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of the government and peace there shall be no end. Upon the throne of David, upon his kingdom to order it, and to establish it with judgment and with justice, from henceforth even forever. The zeal of Anoki said of hosts, in the name of Yahweh, has done this. Article of Faith 1 and 10. We believe in the literal gathering of Israel and the restoration of the 10 tribes. That Zion, the New Jerusalem, will be built upon the American continent. That the Messiah will reign personally upon the earth. The earth will be renewed and receive its paradisical glory. Article of Faith 1 and 10, section 10, and article and scripture reference. Article of Faith 1 and 10. Article is a noun. Section 1200, separate part of anything written, such as the statement of the Apostle Creed, the clauses of a statute or contract. In this case, is a covenant that they even have to keep with the Father. That's why they can't touch my stuff, and you in violation for not bringing my money. Everything else is mine. You can lie to your people. You can't lie to me, though. You got to give me everything is mine, because that's part of the covenant that you made with the Father. He allowed you to carry out your plan. Now you can't touch my plan. His covenant. I'm in his plan. And I ain't never joined your Caucasus and never could be anywhere. I ain't made no covenants with you. You made that covenant with the Father that you carry out your plan for your that's why you have power over your false dominion. And I got power over all dominion with all power. So you might as well cut that out trying to play like a smoke screen that you're going to try to make people think so you ain't giving me the power in here. Now the power is here. The word is spoken. Scripture that gives me my authority. Rightly divided and being by you by necessity. The meaning literal composition of a journal, independent on a specific topic, but part of a larger work. It's recorded by 1712. The older sense is reserved in the Article of War, military regulations, and that's why I said the Department of Defense has to bring my money, my reparations, and everything else to me back based on the Act of 1666 and the end of them the verses with interest. Because I ain't at war and I'm no longer a POW. By your own confession. Based on the atonement of Yahweh, say who I made free is free indeed. I ain't never been a POW. Because I came here when I woke up, I was free. That's why he woke me up. To free the nation of Israel that want to be free. Article of Federation, U.S. history, etc., extending meaning, piece of property, material thing, commodity, clothing, etc. That's why bring my stuff and my money, get my property, my land, everything I told you to build. I need to be in there away from these devils. Article of Faith 1 in section 10. We believe in the literal gathering of Israel and the restoration of the 10 tribes. That Zion and New Jerusalem will be built upon the American continent. The Messiah will reign perfectly on the earth. The earth will be renewed and receive his paradisical glory. Article of Faith 1 and 10. Section 10. And scripture reference, Article of Faith 1 and 10. Closed and open caucuses. In the United States, he ain't talking about America. There are two types of party caucuses, which differ in terms of whether non-party affiliate voters can participate. Most often, only registered voters can participate in a caucus. See why they want you to be registered, Negro? You're not a part of them, but when you register them, you give away your stuff to them. Black people, they've been duped. That's what the Most High said. My people, who are called by my name, will humble themselves, meaning to study, learn of him, even what they say by necessity, and study against what God says, so you know the difference. Because they confessing. It's already on their record. They confessed to it already. It's over. They're guilty posthumously by their own confession. Over 160 years ago. They said usually 150 years, but they also said 160. Most often, only registered voters can participate in a caucus, and they are limited to the caucus of their affiliated party. That's because you're not a part of the caucus, but since you're affiliated with their party, they'll let you participate, but your participation ain't really participating. It's just submitting, acquiescing. This type of caucus is a closed caucus. Although closed caucuses are most common, some states require caucuses to be open in an open caucus. A funeral with an open viewing. You show up to every call for voting. People can vote for a candidate belonging to any political party, regardless of their registered party affiliation. Similarly, delegates are not obligated to vote for a specific party in the open caucus. The Democratic Party refers to the delegates as unpledged or super delegates, and the Republican Party refers to them as unbound delegates. There are also semi-open and semi-closed caucuses, which combine elements of both open and closed caucuses. Caucuses versus primaries. I think you got the picture. But you can look caucuses versus primaries. Case study, the Iowa caucus. What is the legislative caucus? I'll read that part. Rather than entering around candidates in elections, legislative caucuses focus on specific interests of legislators, and their legislation is not law by their own confession. Neither are their mandates. That's for their party or their club that they're trying to put over on a whole nation of people through color of law. That's not law. Through legislative caucuses, policymakers with common interests and goals come together to advocate and their interest is for their own people. That's what Most High said. I'm for my own people. It's my intent to provide for my saints. And I'm the God of Israel and none else. For influence legislation. Now, I think the people in the church starting getting the truth now. I think they starting to click in. That's why they say black people, you've been duped. In false religions, you go to church and you get your little dance in, get you a mate so you can get more money and make you and her can make more money, man or woman, and then bring them your money to a church service outside of the taxes. You're getting taxed all the way around. It's a big game they plan on you. Congressional caucuses. Most well-known legislative caucuses are congressional caucuses, which consist of members of the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. Congressional caucuses are sometimes referred to as conferences, coalitions, task forces, or working groups traditionally fall under 3 classifications: ideological, national consistency, consistency, and interest groups. Ideology caucuses are centered around shared ideology, usually within a party. This ideology incorporates a wide spectrum of beliefs while still falling under a shared umbrella. Yeah, I know when y'all walking down the street, gangs talking with the people with the umbrellas. This is what y'all talking about. I'm reading it to you, so you got to stop. You can stop playing. Examples of ideology caucuses, including like the man that the one putting check across the way that European. They said he's a United States citizen. He has an umbrella. Sometimes he puts up and he brings down. He brings his dogs out to be shitting all on the porch and stuff like that, pissing and shit and all that. Oh yeah, okay. I said no, okay. But that's where he at, so he got to do with me. But yeah, you can stop playing. Unlike ideology caucuses, national consistency causes are often bipartisan. Examples of national consistency caucuses include Congressional Black Caucus. I'm glad they said that. She's going to confess about that in a few minutes when I read it to you. Speaking from the Decimus of Vatican, the Roman Catholic Pope's prior attorney. He's talking about national consistency. Example of national consistency caucuses include the Congressional Black Caucus, Congressional Black Caucus, ICYMI, Congressional Black Caucus chair calls for DOJ action. Appointment of Reps Jones and Pearson following Tennessee legislature explosions. Morning Joe of MSNBC. It goes on to say today, this was what, do I get a date? Let me see. No, but you can go to https://cbc.house.gov. Or it says April 23rd, 2007. It says today, Congressional Black Caucus Chairman Stephen Horsford, November 4th, joined Morning Joe on MSBC to discuss the exposure. See, all these people are all a part of the same book. Of 2 black members from the Tennessee legislature who protested gun violence in the wake of the CEO .. and the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. https://chc.house.gov. CHC on the road stopped. Well, that's passing. That's something you pull up when you pull it up. It says latest news. CHC Chair Bargan applauds the Biden-Harris administration's cut to prescription drugs prices. That was August 15, 2024. It said, today I was proud to join President Biden and Vice President Harris. Both are not here anymore. They just giving you some smokescreen. As they announced new measures to help millions of families and communities across America. That's National World Citizen. Did I read that to you? He said, a lie has been. They telling a lie. How I know this? Because God knows in the scripture. He told me. I told you. That's the same little book John had. Now I'm looking through the human Thummim. So I can tell you exactly what they're doing right now in real time. And God said that years ago. As they announced new measures to help millions of families, communities across America, including Latinos, and that's the UN. That's why they work. That's why they call it the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, because they part of the caucus. So they don't have to choose between their health care and other everyday expenses for their families. You mean that they found out a part of the black people? So why you got Israelites in the corner talking for the blacks, Native Americans, black Hispanics, and Native Americans? Well, black people ain't no nation. Hispanics are part of the caucus. And Native Americans, they have two versions of them. The real ones, who are called the Negroes, who are really Indians, or the real Israelites. And the other, there's the $5 version. I'm going to define it for you. The other ones are part of the caucus. They the white race, you can term. I'm going to read it to you. See, it's one big game they playing on you. Black people, you've been duped. CAC Chair Bergen statement to thank President Joe Biden. July 21st, 2024, press release. Washington, D.C. Today, Congressional Hispanic Caucus. CAC Chair Nanette Bergen, CA-44, issued the following statement. Well, you know what to find. Just go to https://chc.house.gov. Once again, I'm just telling you information. I'm not giving no accusations. I'm just bringing knowledge together so you can hear for yourself. CAC statement on the passing of Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. July 20th, 2024, July 20th, 2024, press release. Washington, D.C. /today, Congressional Hispanic Caucus Chair. CHC Nanette Bergen, CA-44, issued the following statement on the behalf of CEC members on the press. Ideological caucus. They included Blue Dog Coalition, Blue Dog Coalition. You can pull up at https Blue Dog Caucus, one word, golden.house.gov. Blue Dog Coalition. Bold leadership. Common sense solutions. Well, it ain't common sense. I'm looking at people. You got a real pale face called Rep Marie Gluskamp Perez. And I'm not saying because I'm disrespectful with her face. I'm looking at the other three. Well, she has three of them, but she got the palest face with a representative of the eagle. Where the Caucas are, there will be the symbol of the eagle. They got Rep Jared Golden. He look like a Hispanic. And then they got Rep Mary Sotler Petola. She look like what they call a $5 Indian that they call African American, Native American. I'm not being disrespectful. I just know what I'm looking at. You will too if you pull it up. The Blue Dog Coalition. And Donald Trump said they don't like Indians or me. Coalition is a noun. 1610s, the growing together of parts. See, all of them belong in the same part. I don't see no black faces there. You can turn. I don't see no black people mentioned in coalition either, except the ones they using. Not even by definition, you're not included. From late Latin coelitus, fellowship. Most High said don't have no fellowship with unbelievers. Originally past particle of Latin coalitia, unite, grow together, become one in growth. And nigga, you ain't included. See, coalesce, political sense, voluntary temporary union of persons, parties, nations, etc. Oh, nations? Black people, are you including their nations? Well, I don't see your face. For the attainment of certain object, of a certain object. It's tested by 1715. Haitian, Hessain, IAN, that's like is a noun, resident of the former Landgravate of Hessen-Kassel, Western Germany. Its soldiers being hired by the ruler to fight for other countries, especially the British during the American Revolution. 150 years ago, 160 years ago, that they know that those called African Americans were treated like cattle and still treated like as the United States citizens today. Oh, that's what that means. The name is Haitians by 1835 in U.S. became synonyms unjustly. That ain't unjustly. With mercenaries. See how you trying to lie? It says Hisson fly was a destructive parasite, and they say African Americans are considered parasites, and you not the mercenaries. See how they switched up? The ravaged U.S. crops, late 18th century. So named 1887, and erroneous belief that it was carried into America by the Haitians. That's a lie. That's exactly who did it. Alemanni, name of a Germanic tribe, are a confederation from the Elbe River region of the late Roman times, settled along the upper Rhine and Alsace, Slasace, and part of Switzerland. Alemannists, I'm just giving you definitions. Probably meaning all man. and likely denoting coalition or alliance of tribes rather than a single group. Sounds like confederacy to me. But another theory, perhaps meaning rather foreign man. That's on time. The defeat of Alemanni by a Frank-led army of Strasbourg, 1496 CE, led to the conversion of Clovis and the rise of Frankish political power. The Alemanni were absorbed into the Frankish kingdom in 796, not historically important, but through proximity and a frequent conflict with the Frank, their name became the source of French almond. And that's what they was always trying to pull on me back in 2017, my Frank. They were trying to pull off time I was a European or Edomite. You know that's a lie. Because I wouldn't be able to bring these mysteries from the Father if that was true. So you better slap yourself in the mouth and apologize to me. And that's what their church was pushing. Most High said, I made a lot of all them bastards. They made me niggas. And they already said I am by necessity. In my good name. Anthony Matthews Pooler, the senior. So you gotta remember, originally everything was Israelite anyway. They stole everything. That's why I see modern terms just talking about them. Blue Dog Coalition. The Blue Dog Coalition is an official caucus in the U.S. House of Representatives. Once again, Representative Jared Golden looks like a modern-day Hispanic. Rep. Marie Gluskamp Perez, she looked like a paleface. And then Rep. Mary Sadler Patola looks like what they call a modern-day Native American, not the Negro, not the original Native American in the true sense. She's like a $5 Indian. And that's why they're in coalition. I don't see no black faces using terms. These are the co-chairs. The Blue Dog Coalition is the official caucus of the U.S. House of Representatives comprised of fiscally responsible Democrats who are leading the way. And the matter of fact, they said, black people, you've been gone. The Democrats have been your political opponents for decades. And that's them. That's the UN. But also, to a portion, say they're all the same, Republican and Democrat. They're the same people. That's what God said. They are pragmatic Democrats appealing to the mainstream values of the United States public, not the American people, because American people are the Israelites. The Blue Dogs are dedicated to pursuing fiscal responsible policies and showing a strong national defense. That's a lie. Not for our country. And presenting party lines to get things done for the United States people, the Europeans, of their coalition. The American people are the Israelites, and that's not them. But I'm sovereign, though, over them. It's the latest news. Blue Dog endorses bipartisan path forward for U.S. House. October 13, 2023, press release. I ain't gonna read it all. Statement from Blue Dog Coalition of freezing Iranian assets. October 11, 2023, press release. Statement from Blue Dog co-chairman Marie Glusenkamp Perez and Jared Golden on the loss of Buzzy Peltola, September 13, 2023. You can read it for yourself. I told you where it's located. The Congressional Progressive Caucus Once again, I don't see no black faces. You can turn. I see one black lady, but you know she ain't a part of that group. She just a face. So press releases. Well, she's a Divine Nine. That's why she did. Two of them. Congressional Progressive Caucus, which they still ain't included. That's just for sure. Congressional Progressive Caucus unveils new legislative agenda to deliver equality, justice, and economic security for working people. Well, that's a lie. See, a portion said that's a lie. That's what God said. They said, who are they? Chair Promelia J. Paul. She looks like she's a mixture of maybe Iranian or something. I don't know, but she might be black. I don't know, but she looked really strange. She's in black. It's all these pictures in black and white too, with a image of the eagle. All of them got images of the eagle behind. Deputy Chair Ilan Omar. She's a black woman. Chair Emeritus Mark Pokin. That's an Edomite. Chair Emeritus Raul Grileva. That's a Spaniard. And another black woman, Chair Emeritus Barbara Lee. And another Spaniard, Whip Greg Kazar. All these are Edomites, including the black people. The black caucus with them. That's what a black caucus is. An Edomite in black and dark skin. Like Joseph Jackson. It said Tuesday Group and Freedom Caucus. Interest Group Caucus consists of members of Congress who have shared interests surrounding a specific policy issue. Interest Group Caucus are bipartisan in nature. And create space for cross-party dialogue on issues at hand. Examples of interest groups caucuses include Congressional Cyber Security Caucuses and Rare Disease Caucus and the Congressional Dairy Farmer Caucus. Legislative caucuses are also common within across the state legislature. For example, the National Black Caucus of state legislators seeks to address issues affecting African Americans. No, they don't. Just by saying African American, they already told African American men parasites. That's what you're seeing as them. In other marginalized communities, through research, education, and advocacy, issues in focus include financial security and safer school environments in California. That ain't the truth either. The California Legislative LGBT Caucus. I want to see you all on this, who they all looking like. Well, they got no pictures, they just got the colors. It's although state and legislative caucuses differ in composition, they both function as a voice for the imposters. They said for the people. You lying. The people are Israelites, and I'm righteous. State caucuses provide a path for voters with shared values are freely engaged in public discussion and physically show their support for the preferred candidate. In a similar way, legislative caucuses create a space for policymakers to gather and discuss mutual interests to better serve their constituents. And they all got paid off. Mechanism of white supremacy, another confession from the Vatican through the Roman Catholic Pope Providence Attorney. by Anna Von Ritz. She goes on the right. I don't even know who it was I overheard on a talk radio program being broadcast at a local restaurant. Maybe Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity. But anyway, they're interviewing some black caucus type. That's what she's talking about? People. About the riots. And the man kept referring to the mechanism of white supremacy over and over. But he never got down to the identify exactly what this mechanism or describing how this machine works. Well, we have found the mechanism in its entire history. Ready for the review? The response of all, he said all Americans, but that's not all, they're not American. All United States citizens. Oh, right here might be Americans because she's saying now she's tied into the 14th Amendment. So she's talking about the Israelites. Ready to review the response of all Americans. It's called municipal. Black people, you've been kind. Remember that word municipal is applied to black people. That's slavery. United States citizenship, or in other words, of the new completely irrelevant 14th Amendment, citizens of the United States, these citizens are slaves owned by the municipal United States government. And black people, you've been kind because you said, you never need it because you are the real Israelites here. Everybody else here are United States citizens. They're the slaves. That's why he said our whole world's going back into slavery except in Zion. See the Book of Mormon, chapter 4, verse 52 through 53. When the rats abolished private slave ownership, now this sounds just like black people been kind of. She was using the same words. When the rats abolished private slave ownership, they enshrined public slave ownership. Former plantation slaves were the first victims of this travesty. Now this is gonna try to, and notice why they're gonna do this. Let me read this to you first. So when she said, because that's what she doing, wrote it, and got permission from the Vatican, that's why she was able to say it. You think she'd have said that if the Vatican give her approval? So I can catch her in a lie again. See, she tell the truth, but then they're gonna try to come back on the back and try to clean up on the back end. But I'm gonna put a stop to that with the truth. See, portion chapter 79. And it shall come to pass among the nations of this great European empire, which shall be formed from other nations and kingdoms of the world of the earth, that a group of people shall travel across the great oceans and establish themselves in the land of my fathers. These shall begin to prosper exceedingly in all things. There shall also be rich among them, who shall become rich from the land and the things they have stolen from the land of my fathers. Behold, the American Israelites, called Lamanites in this book, shall be on the land when it is discovered by these great European nations of the latter days. And at this time, they should be a humble people, having their own tribes and nations upon their land. That's talking about the Israelites. And though the Holy Spirit of Yahweh shall not be with them directly, that's because they had lost their identity. It was stolen. They should remember many of the teachings of their fathers and begin to establish peace among themselves, according to their traditions and the customs, which will be passed down to them from generation to generation. And it's come to pass that Lucifer shall influence the discovery of the land of promise, which is filled with all manner of precious things, which are the desires of this great and abominable church, of which I have spoken. And when the promised land is discovered by the people of the great European empire, that's anomalous with European nations. The same people I'm reading about right now. When the promise is discovered by the people of the great European empire, they should begin to search for gold and silver and anything that values in it. It's going to pass that they shall begin to destroy the American Israelites and take from them their land. Remember, they call the Lamanites in this book. And take from them their land and force them into places which are desolate and void of precious things that these European nations desire. And the American Israelites, called Lamanites in this book, should begin to dwindle in number and lose their nations, their people, and their lands to the effects of the lusts of the great and abominable church, the European nations. And the men who should destroy the American Israelites, called Lamanites in this book, should think they're doing God a service. Because their belief system, what I'm reading to you right now, white supremacy, that she just confessed to, their belief system is that the American Israelites, who are the Lamanites, and all those who are dark skin, even the ones that brought them over here, they're called the MORs. And all those who are dark skin are those who have been cursed of God and not worthy of the full blessing of the Father. And this wickedness shall be taught unto them by their leaders and their priests, who are all servants of Satan. That includes everybody in this party, even the black people that's on these pages. And shall follow his will in all things. And thus the eighth beast, like these people I'm reading to you right now, which John shall begin to write, and thus the eighth beast, which John wrote, should begin to rise up out of obscurity. That's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's even more wicked than the Catholic Church Incorporated. Same people though. And that's the United States Incorporated. And thus the eighth beast, which John wrote, shall begin to rise up out of obscurity and gain power for itself. And those who shall colonize the land of promise shall begin to have much disputation and contention with the government that controlleth them from across the ocean. That's they fighting themselves. They the one is at war, not me. Sign is at peace. The truth has come. And those who should colonize the land of promise, right here in North America. And those who should colonize the land of promise should begin to have much disputation and contention with the governments that control them from across the ocean. The oceans, which government shall be set up among the nations of the great European empire. And the rich men of those colonies who shall rebel against their king shall rise up and conspire against the laws of their government, because they desire to keep more of that which they gain from the service of the poor. The Americans, the black people, think they black, colored, African American all these times. Who should be among them, because they joined them, either knowingly or unknowingly, as slaves, United States citizens. 14th Amendment slaves. And many of these rich men should unite together to form alliances. I'm reading about it. Even according to the covenants and bonds of the secret companies of old, national and world citizenship. Verse 23, know you not that many of these founding fathers that you hold in such high esteem held men of dark skin and slavery, servitude, Back to your document. Well, we have found the mechanism in its entire history, ready for the review and response of all Americans. It's called municipal, United States citizenship. See, these other nations can't help but be that because they're not Americans. That's why they're in confederation. That's what most I'm put a full end of all nations except for Jacob. Literally, eventually, but right now, it's an end to them right now because the truth is out. They're not American. All they can be on this land are United States citizens. They're the slaves from their government across the seas. And I control all of them. I'm sovereign in the international jurisdiction of the seas, all around the world. All them this victory from the front throne on David, ruling with the rod of iron, the truth, the word of God, even by their own confessions, by necessity. When the rats abolished private slave ownership, they enshrined public slave ownership. Former plantation slaves were the first victims of this travesty. But in 1933, FDR opened the floodgate of a new rules to include all white employees, independent of municipal government too. They ain't got to do it, sign up. That you gotta go talk to them. But remember, don't try to include. You trying to use that because you trying to say at 1930. What happened in 1933? They stole all the gold. That's why you're trying to include that. No, I just read to you that you stole the white races, the European nation, the same group, stole all the gold from my fatherland, which is this land. So that's not gonna fly. Stop trying to include yourself. That's why you try to say. That's why you use that. But I saw that coming, and I went to the scriptures. I put a stop to that. He said former plantation slaves were the first victims of this travesty. But in 1933, FDR opened the floodgates to a new rules to include all white employees, independents of the municipal government too. You're not included too. Most sides, I'm the God of Israel, and none else. And my intent to provide for my saints, and that's it. And there's more than enough for me. And they got to be done my way. That's why I'm doing this way. By the way, the truth. He said, if any man gonna be blessed on this land, Isaiah 65 and 16, 15 through 16. You will leave behind your name as a curse for my chosen ones, and Yahweh God will slay you. But his sons he will call, give another name, no longer servants. CEB version. Galatians 4 and 7. Therefore, you're no longer a slave, but a son or a daughter. If you are his child, then you're also an heir through God. That's Zion. This is their bloodline too. They've been exalted through the Spirit. So through God, you are no longer a slave, but a son. If you're a son, you are also an heir. The CJB version, CEV version. You're no longer slaves. You are God's children. You'll be given what he has promised. Not later, now. Why? Because Satan can't prevent it. Isaiah 65:16. You'll leave behind your name as a curse for my chosen ones, and Yahweh God will slay you. But to his servants, his now no longer slaves but sons, he will give another name. Whoever invokes a blessing in the land will do so by the God of truth. Whoever takes an oath in the land will swear by the God of truth. For the former troubles has been forgotten, hidden from my sight. They even told it by necessity. Back to your documents. So how did you or I become misidentified as municipal United States citizens? Tell you what happened. I'm not misidentified. They know exactly who I am. I'm an American Israelite. I was Joseph from the tribe of Ephraim, and I'm the emperor. He said we were given the gift, or let me put it, they were given the gift of municipal citizenship without their knowledge. See how she got to throw here? So we, you still in your citizenship. You're not an American Israelite. You a German. You an Edomite. How you gonna say we? This is a confession. And they already say all this on the record. It's stare decisis. It's that. Guilty posthumously. This complimentary gift citizenship status is literally the mechanism of white supremacy. Only it should be more properly called the mechanism of corporate supremacy. Because it's been applied to all the American Israelites without respect to color or creed. That's a lie. The American Israelites are, that's why they got people like Elder, not about color, not about race, when it's obvious right in your face. That's all they write about all the time. They even had Walter Plecker made a whole system based on race. Racism. Like you stupid or something. Because the American Israelites are the Negroes with dark skin. Indians, African Americans, colored, etc., but never true nationality, race and nationality and race, American Israelite, like me. To better visualize this, pretend that someone gave you a house in Manhattan without telling you a thing about it. Does owning the house in Manhattan make you a New Yorker? No. Does it make you a citizen of New York? No. And by the way, I own New York too. But so long as you don't know that you now own a house in Manhattan, well, thanks for telling me. I own the whole New York. And all the houses too. That's just New York. The Father said the whole earth is mine. And he said, what is mine is mine. Talking about me. Sion. You can't speak up and say so, can you? So now they start sending you bills related to this gift house in Manhattan, disguised as property taxes, utility bills, and all sorts of other charges. And then all that been returned back through the different forms of names that they created under your real name. That's why I said you gave my people a curse name, but I'm gonna kill you and get them another name. It's all been restored through probate. And you can't take it off of you because you're not Americans. Not under the covenant of the Father. You're under Satan's plan, national world citizenship. That's why you still slave. Or you try to enslave his people. That's why they trying to sneak in talking about we. Nah, what is it was your community and your group that is read about, it's only included you, but now you're talking about we. No, it ain't no we, it's me. Zion. He said, what if you don't want or need a house in Manhattan and don't want to act as an absentee landlord and certainly don't want to pay for all the taxes and other expenses related to this gift property? I know you devils is sitting here trying to hit my heart and stuff like that because I can feel you doing it. But I'm still here. But Most High gonna hit your heart and you ain't gonna better say yourself. Oh, all of a sudden it went away, huh? Okay. That you don't even know you own and get no benefit from. That cost you thousands of dollars every year. And it gives foreign courts an excuse to address you and subject you as a slave to foreign courts. Well, I think you want to give the gift right back to the perpetrators, right? I ain't giving nothing back. It's mine. They already been given back through probate. If you weren't terribly fond of Cousin Jack, you might give him the gift. Who knows? Maybe he wants a house in Manhattan. What the Most High said, through the law of consecration, this is exactly what's going to happen. Make sure all our brothers got houses in Zion that's righteous, following righteousness. You know, out of the rock, not made with hands. Who are Israelites. Or if you are terribly fond of Cousin Jack, okay, I read that. The house in Manhattan is the Strawman Municipal Trust operated by the Municipal United States Corporation in your name, acting as a government. That's why I said that my name, everything been restored back to it. Everything they stole into my private account. That's why I told you I got $950 in my private account, at least time 5. Ain't good faith credit. She is more and more confirming it. Meaning the Vatican is through her. Like I said, if you think she'll be alive if the Vatican allow her to say that, and you got artists like Prince and them talking about chemtrails, and they killed them for that. That's why I'm confident she's speaking for the Vatican. But she lying too, in case you don't know. But I know better. That's why I'm telling you the truth. Based on scriptures. He said, you don't want it, you don't need it. So long as you hold on to it and fail to control it, you're liable for it. That's why it's back in I'm controlling everything. I'm the emperor. And everything been given back to me through probate. I'm not acting from the left side. I'm acting from the Father's plan in the credit side. And credit's not money. I want my money and credit too. They confess that already. By necessity. This is the mechanism of white supremacy. It was used to oppress Black Americans since 1868 and white Americans too since 1933. See? Ain't got to do with white Americans. Ain't no such thing as a white American, meaning them. They can't be Americans. See, what she's trying to pull the game, she know that's when they stole the gold and everything, according to their system. But according to the scriptures, they did it back in 1492 when they got here. See how the scripture corrects and exposes their lies? They can't take it back. It's on record. It's almost high said, you're going to make yourself naked. Lamentations 4, 21, 22. You people of Edom can celebrate now, but your time has come to suffer and stagger around naked. You made yourself naked. Is paid for their sins. Yahweh has allowed me to turn home, Zion. But people of Edom, you'll be punished. Your sins exposed, like right now, you're exposing your own self. You confess into the truth, and in your lies is exposing yourself. What did it say right here? This is a mechanism of white supremacy that has been used against oppressed black Americans. Well, anything of the black American Israelite. But the term black was a byword to show who he's talking about. Who they talking about. Why they ain't talking about everybody else? Why they saying black Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Because the black people, Native Americans, African Americans, and all these are still the same black people. But in the true form, American Israelites. And the Hispanics are part of their Hispanic Caucas. People ain't gonna like to hear that, but I read it to you and keep reading it to you. But somehow you don't get it. And now that we know what this is and how it works, she said, now you know what it is, how it works. How is it then? Well, the black people in America called black Americans are being oppressed. Who else was oppressed? I was also oppressed. It don't say nobody else. And then they tried to come in because they heard about the money. And they said white Americans too since 1933. No, you ain't American. And you the one stole it in 1492. And white Americans include all them people. Meaning part of the Caucas. No matter what you call them. She's told you black people is separated from all these other people. That's the one, black people was oppressed. And there was such things as black people. That's why they try to still oppress you under black. Because black is not a people. It only describe half most of it. Most of it ain't black. Our skin color, like I'm dark skinned, but compared to black, I'm light skinned. This is the mechanism of white supremacy that has been used to oppress black Americans since 1868. That's a lie. 1492. And white Americans too, since 1933. Ain't no such thing as no European American, no Edomite Americans. You're not Americans. She's told you the separation, black and everybody else. And black is not a nationality. I'm an American Israelite from the house of Joseph and the tribe of Ephraim. And then there's all the rest of you, and you ain't included. Just like you don't include us in your white supremacy. That's why it's called white supremacy. And you ain't even white. And you're not supreme either. I am. By your own confession. Scion. But the only thing, you gotta be Scion. If you Scion, Scion means priesthood. Melchizedek and Sequiliabal. A royal race, a royal priesthood. And now that we know what it is and how it works, we can address it together as one people. Who is that? Israel. And they're not Israel. They confession of how you supposed to do it. They say one people. Most High said Israel is the greatest nation. Somehow, when they say talking to the Israelis, they say they're the greatest nation. But when they come to realize that the people they call black Americans are the real people, now all of a sudden they talking about they want everybody to be a part of it. See, y'all some hypocrites and don't even make sense of the stuff what you be saying. So it's time for such obligatory false off citizenship, masking slavery to end. Well, it hasn't. Only thing you can't be a citizen though, because you're not an American. Everybody else is not American. That's why you got into slavery. Now that we know the mechanism, back to the rest of the story. That talk show host went on without exploring the mechanism, but asked two more questions that stopped the show. If it happened to a white man, would we even know about it? Why do colored people continue to elect Democrats, even though they had an entire decades in which they have controlled both houses of Congress and the presidency, and never delivered? Both these questions incited a long silence, notably long, as if for just a moment. All the assumptions and indoctrinations stopped. A ray of truth broke through, and everyone realized, yeah, we are being victimized. Yeah, it's true. We gave the Democrats all that power for years and did nothing to stop the mechanism of white supremacy, also known as the mechanism of corporate supremacy, but it's been stopped now by their own confession. Most High, when he said it's finished and brought the atonement, and then the Father called me to end the doctrine of discovery and number the verses, the Act of 1666, Seskey Act in 2017, it's finished, and they confessing to it now. Nationality, a question for Anna Von Ritz. Victimhood versus brotherhood. It goes on to say, on Wednesday, February 24th, 2016 at 8:48 a.m., lay low right. I'm wondering if it's possible to send Anna Von Ritz a small email through you. I have a question about nationality in the USA. I come to find out about the so-called African American here in the United States of America. I come to find out that the people enslaved since the birth of this nation was falsely given the title African American, to deceive them from the creator, or deceive them from what the creator had given, was known of their true ancestry and nationality at the time of the Emancipation Proclamation. The United States of America is guilty of war crimes. That's the corporation, the Europeans, the ones I'm reading about. Human trafficking, slavery, and to name a few. And this is mere conjecture. And this is not mere conjecture. I'm trying to undo what has been done to me and my children. I have authentic proof from the Library of Congress. I just read to you Article Faith 1 and 10. President of the United States and others. Well, I addressed him in 2017. And proved it. He said he was trying. So I want you to announce my so-called United States citizenry and maintain my possessions and residence like the Native Americans. And see, he didn't understand that. He is the Native American, as he called himself African American. So he's thinking about the European ones, the $5 ones. That's part of the Confederacy against the true Native Americans who already been known since 1492 as the American Israelites. I'm not going to read this part because they're the Spaniards. It said, U.S. has no jurisdiction of another citizen or another state country. So how can they have jurisdiction of a child taken by acts of war? That's why I said no longer POWs through their confession. They called them their own and labeled them as African Americans. Through propagated lies and deceits, this country has taken what is promised to protect its ethics of the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights. It said, thank you, Negrito state citizen, Lalo. She just called him a slave, and he didn't know it. She said, Anna, in response to the question about the abuse of Black Americans have suffered versus what everyone else suffered. CCC are trying to include everybody else. And she already told you that the Black Americans are the ones treated like that first. Who is not a Black Americans, but actually American Israelites. The true Americans on this land. He said, what you have to realize first is although they did it first, what you have to realize first is all of that, although they did it first and worse to the Black people, that's all you have to say. Nothing else. He said they have been equally opportunity predators and have in the end treated everyone the same and enslaved everyone. That's in the Seal Portion Seal Book of Mormon, chapter 4, verse 52 and 53. So everybody else born into slavery through national world citizenship, except for in Zion. For those who are loyal to me, that I can rescue. And there's all Israelites that you call Black Americans, Black people, Indians, African Americans, etc. See how she made herself naked? Or the Vatican made itself naked? The key to this is political status, not race. Now, that's a lie, too. First Peter 2:9, amplified. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a consecrated nation, a special people for God's own possession, so you may proclaim the excellencies and wonderful deeds and virtues and perfections. He's talking about the ones they call Black Americans, African Americans, Indians, colored African Americans. In your true political sense and nationality sense and race, American Israelites, a chosen race, like me. First Peter 2:9, amplified. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a consecrated nation, a special people for God's own possession, so you may proclaim the excellencies and wonderful deeds and virtues and perfections of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Called her a lie again. Called them a lie again. She said the key to this is political status, not race. Following the Civil War, members of the Bar Association, international banks, incorporated the federal government, the corporation. In doing this, they gained a means to avoid the Constitution and its requirements. That's impossible. Why? Because they are a corporation with group membership, not the world or the land of the thing God created, not his people either. Following the Civil War, members of the Bar Association and the international banks incorporated the federal government. In doing this, they gained the means to avoid the Constitution and its requirements. As a corporation, they are in the business of providing governmental services. So they made everyone an offer. They provide more services to some of us, talking about themselves, than to others. In exchange, those people will sign over their lives and property to them and act as slaves and wards of the state. Now, who they do that to? The ones that's not the part of the Caucas, but the black people and people ones. Well, let's say the black people that's part of the Caucas. That's what they did, like your preachers and stuff. That's why they already sold out. They can't come back. So they try to get you to go along with them. That's the devil. They want to pull you down with them. With your smiling lying bishop in there. That's what she just told you. And according to them, this deal was so good, everyone was presumed to have accepted it. Those who did accept were considered United States citizens. So all the new United States citizens were required to pay all of these new services, pay for all these new services the federal corporations were supposedly providing, but in fact was only administering. The victims of this scam not only paid for the services, that's what Most High said, we paid for our sin. And the services. It's already prepaid through the atonement. Include reparations coming that I already received in my private account. They just got to give it to them. They already have, but they got to bring it to them. They got to. They can't not do it. I mean, like right now, like I keep on telling them bring my money today, and they're not bringing it, they're in violation. So now you breaking your covenant with God. He allowed you to have your plan and do it over your people, but he said, don't touch my people, and I'm not your people. So you got to bring my money today. And everything else is mine today. If you don't do it, they ain't got to do it with me. I still command it today because I deserve it today. And he already provided for me today. And I'm not a part of your system. I'm not a part of your plan and Satan's plan. I'm not getting nothing from you, although what is mine is all mine by right in my private account based on the Father's plan, because I own the treasury. The victims of this scam, the scam not only paid for the services and for the administrative costs of the service providers out of their own pockets, but the services, such as Social Security, were often substandard because they were not subject to the market forces. That's why, even though the county of Los Angeles, the probation department didn't have Social Security, they had Lacera. That's why I gave myself a raise based on knowledge out of my own private account. And I'm talking about $10,000 a month. I could ask for $1 billion. But even for me, what I'm gonna do with $1 billion in my pocket every month? When I already got it in my private account if I want it. Once these demons, and that's what they are, Degadacha, according to the books of remembrance, the fallen bullies. And they ain't got no atonement coming for them. Not even the black people with them. Once these demons got their claws in, they could charge everyone however much they could get away with for these services. According to the 14th Amendment of their own corporate charter, published as the Constitution of the United States of America in 1868. So now that's what the Constitution of the United States of America, that's the 14th Amendment. According to the 14th Amendment of their own corporate charter, and that's come from the UN. The Latinos. Published as the Constitution of the United States of America, 1868. The victims had to pay and could not question the resulting debt, were guilty the moment they entered into the courtroom, if the government, the corporation, that is the government service corporation, brought charges in bills against him. That's why he told you in Isaiah chapter 60, 1 through about, let's say 18, he said, the UN gonna bring my money right now. Because I'm not a 14th Amendment citizen. I'm a sovereign. I'm a true American. And they can't hold my money playing game. And none is mine. Because they're not Americans. And in this way, they set up shop in our midst. But the Most High said, I'm the God of Israel and none else. Joel 2:27, and you shall know that I'm in the midst of Israel. And I'm Yahweh and none else. You should know I'm in the midst of Israel, although they say they set up in our midst, so they can't. That's why I'm overruling them. And that you should know, that's how you know, because I'm ruling. And that I'm Yahweh your God and none else. And my people should never be ashamed. Malachi 3:6-10. For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore, you righteous sons of Jacob are not consumed. Even from the days of your fathers, you have gone away from my ordinances, and not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return to you, says Yahweh of hosts. So like I said, send my money today. Get my automobile fixed today. So I can go about my business and do what I want to do. So I'm not limited like you. Like I told you, I could have ordered billions of dollars a month, but I'll limit myself. That don't mean I'll limit from what was mine by right. But like I said, what I'm going to do with billions of dollars a month in my pocket? I just ask for something reasonable that'll suit me. I ain't limited. I mean, I ain't acquiescing. Everything is mine. I can ask for what I want to ask. It's mine. I just ask for $10,000 a month. You was getting that to imposters. Well, you can get that to me, and it's mine. That's not unfair stewardship either. And I'm not going to limit Zion because they sovereign and they can do what they want to do with their money, but they still going to have to answer to God for it. I'm just saying for me, send me $10,000 a month. Everything free anyway for me. That's just my spending chain. What I want to use on. And send me that's probably millions of dollars from what you owe me from 2017 in duffel bags. You Most High watching, you ain't gonna cheat. Just send me in the duffel bags for money that you owe me since 2017. 4 times you're taking with interest. That's the interest is 4 times you take. That's not unreasonable. That's the truth. And that's righteous too. I ain't cheating nobody. If I request any the rest, I can receive it. But I'm telling you what I asked you right now. Send me what you owe me since 2017 in duffel bags. You know how you wrap the money together, and so you can it's all wrapped together. It's countable. And then send my $10,000 a month. You've been owing me since that too. You ain't sent that. I'm sitting there right here right now. I want some pizzas and some good old food and stuff, and you ain't sending my money. And you trying to stop me from having food for my own money. Ain't good fake credit. And I'm not a part of Satan's plan. Ain't ever been in it. And I'm not a 14th Amendment citizen. I'm an American Israelite, a sovereign. And I've never been a part of Satan's plan. So Satan can't touch my stuff, nor can you. And since you touched it, you touched the anointing. And God, you don't touch the anointing. In this way, set up shop in our midst. And the Most High said, no, I'm in the midst of Israel, Zion. So no matter what you do. And set up this fake agreement, allowing them to provide us with any service they wanted to provide, charge us anything they want us to, and then have our own presumed consent to jail and punish us. Most High said, I'm immune from punishment from you. As if we didn't pay them for both the cost of the service and the administrative cost to provide it. Pretty sweet for them, no. Obamacare is just, she's talking about what happened then. It's just a most recent example of this process. Now they're in Biden's time, and he already did too. Of course, they acted under condition of fraud and deceit to accomplish all this. But accomplish this they did. They've been working it ever since in broad daylight. And people have gone along and accepted it because they thought this thing in Washington, D.C. was acting as their lawful government. Well, I put a stop to that in 2017. Well, why they your money? Because they trying to fool you. But like I said, send my money today. And my food, I'm trying to get my food and everything else. And then if you have my son, anybody in jail, anything like that, release them immediately. My sons or my daughters. Sion. They cannot see or conceive that those who had been operating as the lawful government before the war had just seized upon the names of institutions and began operating as a self-serving governmental services corporation instead. Who is that? That great whore, the European nations. Talked about in the Seal portion, chapter 79, and what I've been reading to you today. The remedy they provided was expatriation statute, and that's when they came in and arrested me in 2017. They gave me a document full of everything, talking about marriage that wasn't valid, and then they didn't even tell me about it. And because I ignored it, because they wouldn't talk to me anyway, then they came and took my car and took me to jail, based on a paper talking about expatriation. That's what they did. I had to spend time in jail over these lies by them trying to prove a point. And I was already sorry. What's that? May? No, it's March, January, March. 8th and 9th of 2017 when they came and put me in jail. They had a man in a sheriff uniform. They had a whole bunch of people in the Department of Justice uniform. And then they was mocking God. He said his name was Tittle. One jot or one tittle should not pass from the law. That's what he was doing. A European man, a devil. They had 3 of them, and they had a real devil. Because he was like right in the middle of transformation. That was they sent the spook agency to. They had a real devil on my porch in mid transformation. I'm sitting there looking at him, talking to him, and then since that didn't scare me, then finally said, "You can go to the car." And then when they took me to jail, I was on the porch. They had me in handcuffs from, let's say, about 12:30 noon to about 5:30 the afternoon. And then they took me to the sheriff department. First they were going to run. I said, no, that's not the sheriff department. That's that way. Then they took me to the sheriff department in Lancaster, California. And I stayed in jail for about 2 days, 8th and the 9th. At about sometime that morning, I figured it was about 2 in the morning. I had no clock. They had a black man come in a sheriff uniform and talking about, we need to take your DNA. I said, I gotta take it? Because I'm being wise. You undone the most already. You got to picture this though. I got on my private property a letter from the Department of Justice said it's illegal and unlawful to act under the cover of law, and these people come and take me to jail and violate my law and took my arms and everything. My car later, but took my arms that day. Meaning, if you just call them firearms, some people have guns. That's lawfully mine, and all of my ammunition, legally and lawfully mine. So that blew me away. I said, man, I'm looking at this notice where it says they can't do this, and it's the same people arresting me, taking me to jail. And I said, am I under arrest? Nope. I said, let me go then. Nope. Then finally, about 5:30, they're going to say, well, we'll take you to jail. As I've been sitting all the time in handcuffs. That qualified me for when Most High said they should put you in prison or in jail. I ain't go to prison, but I went to jail for righteousness' sake. Stand up for what was right. That qualifies me. Even they said it was right. I'm standing up. But now they can't do that now, though. That's why the Roman Catholic Pope took away the final crowns off head and gave it back to me in 2020. I'm sovereign. I'm the emperor. I'm the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Oh, this man tripping now. He talking about he Jesus Christ. And I never said I was Jesus Christ. I'm a Melchizedek priest, though. And I'm a part of his body. That means I am Yahweh. And that's what I mean by him in his name. If you're in his name, that's why I say in his name, we all one. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's why when they talk in the Old Testament, when the angels came, and the prophets were like, yes, Lord. When the messenger comes in the Father's name, that means he's in the Father's name. That's why I ain't got to say I'm one of his sons. I'm the Son of God. And Yahweh is my big brother. And they said, Michael should help me. And they even called me Michael. I didn't even know that. They sent me an email and called me Michael. I already told you, they scared me half devil. They said, dead Michael Pooler. I said, my name ain't no Michael. And I ain't dead. Now imagine you ever seen something like that in the email. Your first thought was that? Oh, they trying to kill me. That's a terrorist threat. But now I see, and I wasn't even dead back then. I was alive. Because they already answered and said I'm Negus, even before they even took me to jail. That was just the devil retaliating against me because I stepped out of their shadows into the shadow of Almighty. They can do nothing about it except for try to retaliate. But now, all Israel is restored. Ain't that something? When you repatriate from the United States, I wasn't even trying to make funny. God just looked up, and that's what it says right here in their confessions. When you repatriate from the United States citizenship, you're restored to your natural birthright as one of the people of the United States. That means the real America. The organic states of the real America, unincorporated. What the federal corporation calls a non-resident alien, and then they talk about an American national. Now, that's the key right there. Remember, a national try to take you back and be under them. That's the lie. I'm an American Israelite. That's already recognized. It says, except for black Americans who never were granted this birthright. So why are you calling them black Americans? See how they make themselves naked? Except for black Americans who never granted this birthright status in the first place. The only protection and recourse is what Dr. King fought for, equal civil rights. Civil rights are privileges conferred by Congress, that's them, that I've been reading about. They conferred against the American Israelites. They call them black Americans. Again, you call yourself black. And then they got, well, the Caucas is dead anyway, but they got dead people you trying to vote for it, and they got people that's serious about it too. I thought it was smart. Yeah, I got her back, boy. That black woman, I got her back. She ain't got yours. She dead anyway. And if she wasn't dead, the carcass is dead. That's a dead body. Just like black. But this message right here is so clear, if you don't get this one, I don't think you can be saved. Or maybe you don't want to be saved. Therefore, I ain't going to make you. But for me, in my house, I'm an American Israelite. In the house of Joseph, the tribe of Ephraim, settled in heaven with all authority, power, in the kingdom of God. Reigning. For my day has been dawning to a brighter and brighter day. This will be a beautiful day. You send my money today so I can get my pizza and stuff. Get my automobile back on the road. You should send my son or daughter to go and let that happen for me today. That's not begging, and I ain't gonna cuss you out. I'm just requesting it by knowledge, the authority I now possess. Civil rights are privileges conferred by Congress that can be taken away by Congress. Well, let's read what they say about black people. Black people, you've been conned by the Roman Catholic post-protestant Anna von Rich. Well, now see, this is when they trying to put themselves in it. Well, we all been conned, but you've been conned more than the rest of them. That's the confession. Everything I've seen, Martin Luther King Jr. took a half a loaf, a grant of civil rights, and that at least temporarily prevented recognition of the natural and inalienable rights actually owed to black people. Maybe he thought that half a loaf was better than none, but Martin Luther King was a Freemason, so he started off on the wrong foot in the first place. That's why they had control over him. He was a part of their black caucus from the Divine Nine. And that's why your preachers don't say nothing, because they don't end up like Dr. Martin Luther King. Because they already signed that contract. But I ain't one of them. That's why I speak openly and freely. The truth. And the truth shall make you free. So maybe you thought that half a loaf was better than none. Maybe you saw it as a stepping stone to be eventually have the natural and inalienable rights of all the Americans who are the Israelites fully recognized and honored. We'll never know what MLK knew or what he thought about this issue, but certain other things are sure. It's certain that Democratic Party, see, of course, at both sides, Democrat and Republican, but the Democratic Party is definitely the deep state. The Syrians, as mentioned in the Still Book of Mormon. which is otherwise Edomites, Europeans, the same Caucas. It is certain that the Democratic Party, that so many black and colored people identify with and support, has in fact been their primary political opponent for decades. Look at the history. Look at the voting records. It was Democrats that engineered conferring municipal citizenship slavery on black people following the Civil War, effectively making them publicly owned slaves instead of privately owned slaves. See the same verbiage? It was Democrats who substituted civil rights for natural and inalienable rights too. But natural and inalienable rights is something cannot be given away or taken away, other than by your ignorance, by claiming to be a United States citizen. Civil rights are merely privileges conferred by the municipal Congress. They can be taken away from municipal Congress on a whim, not from American Israelites. She didn't say from you, she said from them. It can be taken on a whim because they're not Americans. Rights are merely privileges. Civil rights are merely privileges conferred by the municipal Congress, their group, their caucus group from their club, like the country club. Like, nah, we don't let you in the country club. Mike, I found out you're getting broke now. You're turning back black. You're getting a little darker, Mike. We're gonna take that privilege away from you. And they can be taken away from municipal Congress on a whim. They can be taken away from municipal Congress on a whim. That's them. But your natural and inalienable rights come from nature, and nature is God. It should be the other way around. The God created nature. Think about it. You've been snookered. You don't need municipal citizenship. You don't need to be a slave by being a United States citizen because you don't need that. I'm an American Israelite. Probably you are too. Well, you are, but you gotta. That's what you want to be. Talking about the Negroes, African Americans, and everybody else. They call all the different terms. But if you join Satan Club and Satan's plan, and you signed up for it, and now you can't get out of it, that's on you. But if you ain't joined this club or never signed up for this club, but you was by ignorance that you thought you would, then I can come and rescue you. You're not an African American. You're American Israelite. You don't need municipal citizenship. It was conferred on you, but you never needed it. If you knew what it entailed, you'll never want it either. You can choose your birthright political status as Americans, being Israelites. That's natural. That's why they got a nation. Instead, you can be truly free and have your natural and inalienable rights respected and protected, just like me. You can claim your own assets for your own benefit, like every other American Israelite. You simply need to know that. You have that choice, and you need to make it. Back to the document. The remedy they provided was expatriation statute and revocation clauses of various other pieces of corporate legislation that's not law. Most especially your right to revoke your election to pay federal income taxes. See, that's what a election is, to make you have to pay federal income taxes. When you expatriate from United States citizenship, you're restored to your natural birthright as one of the people of the United States, the true American. The United States of the organic states. What the federal corporation calls a non-resident alien. But that's not a bad word. That's a good word. because they're the real resident aliens. Then they lied to American national, and I just read what that means. Get you back under their slavery. That's national and world citizenship. The true term is American Israelite. That's already recognized. Except for Black Americans, who were never granted this birthright status in the first place. The only protection and recourse is what Dr. Martin Luther King fought for, equal civil rights, and that protection is they're gonna be swing low, sweet chariot, and then they're gonna send Jesse Lyon Jackson or Al Sharpton, one of your local preachers, to your funeral. Civil rights are privileges conferred by Congress, the Caucas. They can be taken away by Congress, and then what she told you. Their rights can be taken away, not the American Israelites. But since the civil rights movement, you are guaranteed civil rights equal to the natural and the other rights of the other Americans who are all Israelites. In God's plan, the Father's plan. Most recently, the greedy slave masters have tried to claim that she put R's again. Talking to the Israelites. Have tried to claim that our unincorporated states of America no longer exist. That was Wells Fargo, the Attorney General. Remember that? The same one that told me they had my money. And I request. They said all you had to do was request, and I did. So I'm like, why you bring my money today? And get my automobile back on the road so I can go to the market and cook my own pizza. I cooked a pizza man one time. It was so good. That's what I plan on doing again today. Send my money. That the Constitution is voided because of one other parties to it died, etc. That was the Act of 1666, and I already answered that question and solved it. I destroyed the Act of the Sesky V Act of 1666 in 2017, the end of Dunderversion and Dr. Discovery. By seeking to deprive us of our remedies, they're also seeking to deprive you of your equal rights, your equal civil rights, because they will leave no natural and edible rights for you to compare to. That's impossible, though. This is what these treasonous, greedy, and immoral vermin have been trying to pull off. She just confessed. That's already ended. It's on record that's done away with. But you can help stop it right now by confronting them with the facts to their faces, like I'm doing right now for you. I already done face it for me and mine. I'm doing this for you, Zion. And it's already done for you too. You just gotta stop being African American, Native American, all these different terms, and being an American Israelite and keep the Most High's commandments. That's the problem, though. A lot of y'all don't want to keep no commandments. But he said it's not grievous. For his burden is light and his yoke is easy. But you can help stop it right now by confronting them with the facts to their faces and demanding the end of this second-class citizenship and all the presumptions that go with it by organizing in support of the white American national. See, that's white supremacy. And white is in our term meaning righteous. American Israelites, not American national. We got our own nation called the Nation of Israel, the greatest nation. 1 Chronicles 17, 21 to 23. And what one nation in the earth is like your people Israel, whom God wanted to redeem to be his own people, to make you a name of greatness and terribleness, by driving out nations before your people, whom you have redeemed out of Egypt. And this is Sodom and Egypt, mystery Babylon. And mystery Babylon is not America, it's them. That's the mystery. For your people, Israel, did you make your own people forever. You, Yahweh, became it their God. Therefore now, Yahweh, let the thing that you have spoken concerning your sons and daughters, and concerning his house, be established forever, and do as you have said. It's finished. In support of the American Israelites, who are demanding that the natural and eligible rights of all the Israelites, all over the world, born in this country, be honored and respected. These criminals in our midst, and Most High said, ain't got to do with us, because I'm in your midst. I'm the God of Israel and none else. That's why the seal portion said, he said, although Satan has the authority of his own domain, lying to him, but Yahweh is reigning in the midst. Who is that? Me, the Melchizedek priesthood. These criminals in our midst have created these divisions and injustices with malice and a forethought on purpose. That's what that means. Seeking to divide the American people, the American Israelites, into warring factions. I already read they don't want a war against themselves. The better divide and conquer us all. That's why I said Most High are more than conquerors, more than colonizers, or conquistadors. They have tried to separate us by religion. Then they say by race. Well, only one been fooled here is the race of Israel. All of you are confederate against the race of Israel. By former nationality, by political parties, you name it. They have done this to distract us, to keep us from noticing that they and their grossly mismanaged governmental corporate services are the sources of poverty and injustice and criminality engulfing this nation. Though Black Americans have been especially deprived and abused by this system, that's all she had to say. They are far from the only ones that ain't got to do with us. Because you're trying to get in on it. And I just read you don't include none of us in yours. Matter of fact, you said that's a private club. Most I say this is also a private club, and you ain't included. And it's public too. Shout it from the rooftops. Through public law. He said they are far from the only ones who have suffered the abuses of these corporations, masquerading as our government. Well, the Most High's government is me. Isaiah 9, 6 through 7. I'm ruling with a rod of iron with justice and equity. All have suffered and continue to suffer until we wake up. That's why the Most High woke us up. And stand together and put an end to this nonsense. And then it's good for you to wake up too, because that's going to help you. He said, because you're going to be here to be my slave to help me, and that's going to keep you alive. He's going to kill the rest of you. You can start by bringing my money to everything else I request. God may keep on proving until you got to bring. Daniel 7:22. Until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was passed in favor of the saints of the Most High God. The time arrived now when the saints, the true believers, took possession of the kingdom right now. We've been in possession. I've been in possession, but this is a right now word. Because everything is now. That's what they call being present of the hour. And the present means now. Presently. This is a present word. No corporation on earth, back to the document. Nationality, a question of Anna Von Rich, Roman Catholic post-trial attorney. They state confessions. No corporation on earth has any right to operate in a criminal fashion. All of them are subject to liquidation. That's why I even tell you, if you're operating as a United States citizen, they're going to liquidate you. You got to be who you are as a man or woman, standing straight up as an American Israelite. And I'm leading a straight way, equally from both sides. Even though they lie, the lie is evidence against them, but the truth stands. And it does not matter whether they are chartered under what national auspices. They can be tracked down and charged with their crimes and dispensed with in short order. The owners and operators can be charged with crimes in any corporation that acts in a criminal fashion, loses the protection of the so-called corporate veil, meaning that the fortunes of the corporation owners and operators can be liened and owners otherwise seized upon as a remedy for the wrongdoings. That's reparations. It's already promised. That's why I already got $950 trillion in my private account times for. Ain't good for the credit. It's already prepaid. And I'm just telling them to stop lying and bring my money today so I can go and get what I want to get. This is my right to do because I'm not limited. I'm not in Satan's plan. You can't penalize me for telling the truth. Mine comes straight from the Father, and you can't interfere with it. Meaning that the fortunes of the corporation owners and operators can be liened and otherwise seized upon as a remedy for their wrongdoing. That's why it's mine. And you still ain't brought my money. That means more and more stuff is coming to me. Now, having observed that, perhaps you've been observing the land grab going on in the western states right now. Heard about the poor rancher. Well, I ain't worried about that. That's not the Israelite. Well, the name of the parent corporation of both the BLM and FBI is Government of the United States, Inc. It's just a corporation like Walmart or J.C. Penney's. There's no special authority or standing. That's why I got power of all the power of enemies, Satan, and nothing by any means harm me. I got divine royal authority by bloodline. Its employees have no public office or granted authority. That's them. What say that all of the people of this country, black and white, red and yellow, recognize that what the problem really is and going after it with hammer and tongue? Well, the black people, you got to stand up as who you really are as sovereigns. The rest of the people, you better do it because you want to live. That's a promise from the Most High. And you ain't getting no reparation. There's nothing more or less than a bunch of criminally mismanaged and greedy corporations. And once we are all self-declare, well, you can't self-declare. Because you just said yourself. Criminality. How you gonna declare something you not? You just pleasure just what is it called? When somebody tell a lie on the stand. Can't none of you say you're an American, except for the people called black people, the black Americans who are really American Israelites. But I can't make them be American Israelites like they want to, but I am in my family. It's already on the record who I am. Therefore, my children are under my protection and my grandchildren. Sion, as long as you honor God's words, I can rescue you. Yeah, you perjure yourself on the stand. It's nothing more or less than a bunch of criminally mismanaged and greedy corporations. And once we all self-declare our political status as one of the American people on the land, that's only American Israelites. There's no stopping us from cleaning houses from Boston to San Francisco. And that's where my uncle Nathaniel in the scriptures, Bartholomew, that lived in San Francisco, that gave me his estate after death. That matter of fact, where my granddad and everybody was at. They wasn't gay either. They came from Louisiana by birth. Been born from Louisiana. That's what I had a probate meeting about his estate that already been determined in my favor. They tried to cheat me, talking about give me $1 million. That's a lie. 950 trillion times 5 from his estate too, not counting my own, and my granddaddy and my dad and my uncle Melvin, all of them. Like in Isaiah chapter 60:5, it said, "I'm rejoiced when I realize the money I got." And give faith credit. Talking about Georgia. Most of that is my name too. Pooler. That's mine too. And I ain't talking about Russia. All the homes that was in my name that they called foreclosed, that was already foreclosed, meaning that was a plot to steal it in the beginning. That's mine too. All that. And I ain't gonna be like Esau. For a thing of porridge. No, I bring my money so I ain't gonna give me what I want to eat, and I ain't gotta sell my soul food. Because even Esau had to write a contract with Jacob. They made a covenant. That's why he said he sold his birthright. It wasn't just words. Jacob had documentation that he sold his birthright. That's why it's in the scriptures. You ain't got no such thing on me because I ain't never made no such gesture or no covenant with you. No contracts. I ain't even said that. I just think it was mine by right. And that's on the record. I hear an evil spirit trying to pop up out there, but that's just noise. It's all about what's on record. And I ain't never made no comments such as that, nor signed no agreements about it. But can you say the same? So I think I just cast that spirit out. It had to shut up. Well, the name of the parent corporation of both the BLM and the FBI is Government of United States, Inc. It's just a corporation like Walmart or JCPenney's. It has no special authority or standing. Its employees have no public office or granted authority. What say that you all, the people of this country, black and white and red and yellow, recognize what the problem really is go after it with hammer and tongs. It is nothing more or less than a bunch of criminally mismanaged and greedy corporations. And once we all declare our political status as one of the American people, that's only for Israelites. That they call black, colored, and African American, Negro. He's called American, black Americans. Who's not black? I'm not black. I'm an American Israelite. House of Joseph, the tribe of Ephraim. And that's on the record. Let's see how long this video been. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna write down the rest of the information. And he said it all the time. No, I'm gonna actually do it in the time and write in the timing. Most I send me to do it. But this is a lot of information, and I'm gonna finish. If not today, most I saying I'm gonna finish. It's already finished. This is just to get more of their confessions. They already confessed to it. It's already finished. Let's see where I was at. It says, seize the day and seize your brothers, Americans, or the Israelites. Support the effort to remove and control the criminally insane corporations. Where the people that run. They've usurped. See, they got mad because they already know it says Americans of all kinds, colors, etc. That's not the truth, though. That's perjury. I ain't gonna perjure myself. How am I gonna say of all kinds of colors when he's got to tell you black Americans are the only ones that was treated this way? And they said then later they did to everybody else, but you've been duped more than everybody else. Why am I gonna say that then? I ain't gonna say that. That's not the truth. Most High said, I'm the God of Israel and none else. That's the truth. Seize the day and seize your brothers, the Americans, who are the Israelites. Support the effort to remove and control the criminally insane whore, the European nations, corporations. They usurped. The serpent was more. He said the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field. That's what usurp means. That have usurped upon and claimed to represent the living government of the people, for the people, and by the people. See? That government vested in each one of us. See, I'm a government all by myself. That means I'm sovereign with all power. That's Melchizedek priesthood. That the government vested in each one of us as organic states of the union can never die. See? They just told you what the real organic states mean. Talking about me. And the actual other states that's actually organic is the created land by the Father. That the government vested in each and one of us as organic states of the union can never die or become overcome by any amount of legal chicanery, so long as deceived, so long as we know and remember that who we are and stand together, refuse to be deluded or deceived or misrepresented by these evil clowns anywhere. But the guy's going to tell you that the government invested in each and one of us as organic states. See, that's why I can stand alone. He said, I was alone and none was with me. I don't need nobody else to stand with me. It's help. It's good. But they ain't going to stop me from standing. And since I'm standing, I'm sovereign. Me and my house. It's not depending on, I ain't going to stand. Well, that's on you. That's why you have the choice to make that decision. But that ain't going to affect me because you don't want to stand that you're going to, well, I ain't going to send you food because the others ain't standing. Well, it ain't got to do with me. I'm standing and I'm approved by the Father, even by you. I don't need your approval, but you did it by necessity. That stands. The government vested, that's Isaiah 9:6-7 right there. The government vested in each one of us as organic states of the union can never die. See, Paul just said like this: I'm everlasting. I'm everlasting. I'm the work of God that can never die. I'm from eternity to eternity. That's immortality. Or be overcome by an amount of legal chicanery, so long as we know and remember who we are and stand on this truth, and the devil will flee from you. Refusing to be deluded or deceived or misinterpreted or misrepresented by these evil clowns anymore. It is showtime. Time for all Americans, the Israelites, to stand up against these corporations and their false claims and criminal actions in every state across the nation. What the Most High put it like this. It's already over. Isaiah chapter 60, CEV version. A new day for Jerusalem. Jerusalem, stand up, shine. Your new day is dawning. Not going to, it is dawning. The glory of Yahweh shines brightly on you. The earth and its people, meaning the world and its people, Idumea, are covered with darkness. But the glory of Yahweh is shining upon you, me. Nations and kings will come to the light of my dawning day, yours. That's why they got to send my money today. The truth is out, and they can't deny it. Matter of fact, they already covenanted with the Father to give it to was mine by right. Although he ain't got to give his slaves nothing, because he's a liar. But he can't do that to me though, because I'm not according to his plan. I'm in the Father's plan, and there's a great gulf. Yahweh said, "Open your eyes, look around. Crowds are coming. Your sons are on their way from distant lands. Your daughters are being carried like little children. When you see this, your face will glow. Your heart will pound and swell with pride. Treasures from across the sea and the wealth of nations will be brought to you, me, today." Now, matter of fact, it's already in my private account. They just got to bring it to me today without request. Your country will be covered with caravans of young camels. Brings trucks, bring my money. from Midian and Ephah. The people of Sheba will bring gold and spices in praise of me, Yahweh. Every Sheba Gadar will come to you. Ram from Naboth will be mine as well, yours, Zion, individually and collectively. I will accept them as offerings to bring honor to my temple. You not know that you're the temple of God. What is that selling by like clouds, like doves flying home? On those distant islands, your people are waiting for me, Yahweh. Ship-going ships led the way to bring them home with their silver and gold. I, the Holy King, Redeemer, God of Israel, do this to honor your people, so they will honor me. Jerusalem will be rebuilt, the same one in Article 1, Section 10. Now, matter of fact, mine should already be done. I ordered it already by my birthright from the throne of David. Yahweh said, Jerusalem, your city walls will be rebuilt by foreigners, them. Their rulers will become my slaves, Sions, yours. I punish you in my anger. Now will I be kind and treat you with mercy. Your gates will be open day and night. Let the rulers of nations lead their people to me, Sion, you with all their treasure, all their treasures, right here in North America. Any nation or kingdom that refuses to serve me will be wiped out, you, Sion, if you obey the Most High and follow his instructions of being who you are. But as for me and my house, we're already sovereign. Wood from Lebanon's best trees we brought to you, me. The pines, the firs, the cypress together, the trees, it will be used in my temple to make beautiful the place of my rest of my to make beautiful the place where I rest my feet, Roya. The descendants of enemies who hated and mistreated me, you, Sion, will kneel at my feet, yours too, Sion, if you, Sion. They will say, you are Sion, the city of Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel. You are hated and deserted, rejected by everyone. I mean, all of them. But I make you beautiful, a city to be proud of for all time to come, from now on into eternity. From now until all time into eternity. You will drain the wealth of kings. That's what we mean, drinking their breath. Because they're going to be continually bringing the money every month and from now on. And not 10,000 either. That's what I just requested to bring to me in my pockets. $10,000. But the rest they're going to put in my private account. That I got access at any time. Because Wells Fargo, Attorney General, already told me they got my money. All I had to do is request. And God said they're going to bring it to me. I'll read it to you. That's two witnesses from both sides. And since they bubbling the cursor and I ain't moved it, since you recorded, I mean, I want, even if you got at the end of this video, somebody nobody watching, you bubbling the thing without me moving my cursor. That's how y'all know you watching. So you obligated, send my money today. That's on the record. Since you bubbling, you copying it, and I ain't moved my cursor. That means you listen, you heard it, and you got to do it. You will drain the wealth of the kings of foreign nations. You'll know that I, the mighty King Yahweh God of Israel, have saved and rescued you. Anoki said, the Father. Once again, on the record, since it was on the record, they heard it. Because anytime they got a blue thing around my cursor moving and I ain't moved the cursor, that means they listening and they recording. And they're the witness. Send my money today. Based on this truth. He said, if anybody can be blessed on this land, it'll be by the God of the truth, and I ain't told nothing but the truth, and you agreed to it by necessity. And you recorded by bubbling the thing, and I ain't even moved my cursor. So I know you was watching and recording. So send me mine. Even if you don't, because knowing you ain't gonna, I ain't gonna say what you ain't gonna do, but you gotta do it. However, the millions of dollars that you owe me from 2017, that I told you bring in my pocket in duffel bags. I requested. And the $10,000 a month you ain't send me. Bring all that to me today. And if you bring less than that, I'm not acquiescing. You still got to bring that to me. But I want you to bring me my money today. So I get my automobile back on the road. So I can travel and I can do what I want to do in it. With my own money and don't be having people following around trying to worry about what I'm doing. Because I'm not in your kingdom. You ain't got no power over me. I got power over you. In your kingdom. You will drain the wealth of the kings in foreign nations. You will know that I, the mighty King Redeemer, God of Israel, have saved and rescued you. I'll bring bronze and iron in place of wood and stone. I'll place in place of bronze and iron, I'll bring gold and silver. I'll appoint peace and justice as your rulers and leaders. It's on me. Violence, destruction, and ruin will never again be heard within my border. Victory will be the name you give to your walls. Praise will be the name you give to your gates. And I'm coming from the east side. The kings of the east. I'm giving a leeway into the next video when I make it. It's already made. I just got to bring it forth to you. You won't need the light of the sun or the moon. I, Yahweh, your God, will be your eternal light and bring you honor. Now, your sun will never set or your moon go down. I, Yahweh, will be your everlasting light, the truth. Your days of sorrow has come to an end. Your people will live right and always own the land. They are the trees I planted to bring praise to me. Even the smallest family will be a powerful nation. I am Yahweh. When the time comes, I'll quickly do that right now. Three hours and a little over almost 4 hours, so that's good for today. All praises to Anoki said. Coming to you once again, being in the power and authority in the name of Yahweh, which is the truth. Who can stand in the day of Yahweh? Only those who tell the truth and live in right now.